What's going on YouTube? It's going to Diamond coming to you from a Solid Japan Pinku style podcast today. This is the second time in a row I've had I had Lex on last one, 205, which is actually going to drop today. And then I got Blaiant here and everything. So I had the last guy, I had Clint on before. So I'm starting to get in-shop guys again before. I put fillers out there for dudes and they didn't want to do it and everything. So Sean Larson, I'm talking to you, man. You told me 3 years ago you'll get back to me, and it's been 3 years. I didn't forget, man. So man. So Blaiant, again, thanks for coming in, man, to the podcast, man.
Of course, man.
And everything, man. So again, guys out there, before at the top and everything, everybody pretty much on social media. So Blaiant, they can follow you at where?
On Instagram, it's the Blaiant.
The Blaiant. So we got it right here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of car stuff, a lot of hair stuff now.
Yeah.
And the newest thing. So one thing we'll get, one thing why I got this, man, let's just break that. How many cars have you had, dude? How many cars have you had?
Oh, man.
And then we'll go back and get into how you got into it and everything, man.
That's quite the laundry list.
Yeah.
So
we can just scroll on here and pretty much they're all there.
Okay, so well then let's start from the top if you don't mind.
All right, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good reminder, dude. It's I could just look back at this and.
So this Z, which is what's my latest acquisition, I got this for
which I passed on, by the way.
Huh?
Which I passed on, and a couple other guys. Brady passed on, and now we're like, fuck, we should have got it, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I mean, I bought it for Goman Yen, which was about at the time $350.
Dude,
so
deal.
So yeah, it's auto, but I mean, manual stops are still relatively affordable for it.
It can be done in a day.
It'll be fun. That'll be just a beater car because it still has inspection until August of next year, which is pretty nice.
Nice.
And that's my little Sunny right there in the middle. I'm not super crazy about it, but
used to be mine.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I know it's been passed around here. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So it's still kicking, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll just knead it up a little bit, and I'll see what I do with that. That's my Z20 Soarer right there, which I'm getting ready to do a 1J swap into.
Nice.
And that's definitely going to be a super fun car. I got a custom sub box made for it by Mike Patton, actually. So he did that for me before he left.
Yeah.
And I just got to finish it up and wire it all up, and we'll have some tunes in there. It'll be cool. Nice. And then we got my old Mark II, that blue one right there. I actually recently sold to TJ Hunt.
Okay.
So that has been a pretty solid drift car for me for the past couple years. So I do miss it, but
that's the one you drove on the video with when they were driving up on Security Hero.
Yes, that's the one I drove, and the one I
bumped into the fence. You notice I edited that part out. I didn't want to put that in there.
So and then we got my S15 right there. Been trying to sell it, but nobody can come up with the funds around here. I don't understand why, but it's okay. If I stay with it, I stay with it. Yeah. I'm not too worried about it. Then there's some more Mark II stuff. Oh, and I don't think you can really see my red Laurel there too well. Probably a different. No, that's
all switch comms.
Yeah. Actually, that white Laurel was mine too, but I recently traded it for R33 4-door, but I just intend to
I think 3 owners ago I got that. It wasn't running that Laurel. Mm-hmm. There was a swap, RB swap in there and everything, and they couldn't get it to run. I knew exactly what it was, and I got it running. It was a relay and everything. So
okay. Yeah, I got it. It barely ran. I actually, you can see in some of those photos, I actually took the engine out because the head gasket was bad.
Oh yeah.
So I took the engine out, cleaned the engine bay out, or did basically a whole engine gasket job, ARP studs, stuff like that. So it's still stock, but it's gonna be definitely rock solid now for sure.
I like the hood on. I like it's like the white carbon. I like the hood on that car.
Yeah, it's actually it's a D-Max hood.
Do you still have it, by the way? You say you got rid of it?
The white one, yeah. I still have my red one though.
Okay.
So that one's definitely my the love of my life, I guess.
Right, and the more connections you got there from Matt, right?
Yeah, I actually got it from Matt, and Matt got it from the guys over at Supermade, actually. Yeah. So
one thing you'll see right away, guys, is how connected. It's pretty much not all of them, but some of the cars, man, is connections. I know Matt, and then the Sunny thing and all that stuff, man. So it's pretty cool to see. And then also, if you're in a game long enough, it's shit just kind of goes that way, man. I've sold cars got them back. Well, I sold wheels to a car, got the whole car with the wheels back, and sold the wheels again and the car again. Like it was like, I've sold one car 3 times before. Yeah, that's like master level, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the only way you do that shit is by not posting everything. And I know you don't post everything you get.
Yeah.
You can't like possibly post everything you get. Well, I'm not sure, but so yeah, you got the Evo, you got the.
I love that Evo.
Yeah.
It's a total piece of crap. It's super rusty, but man, it's fun. Yeah. It's super fun.
And is you right here?
Yeah. So that's actually the day I got out of boot camp when I was in the Navy. So that's my little brother right there, and he's actually in the Marine Corps now.
Nice.
So
nice. What year was this?
This was 2000. January 2011.
Cool.
Because that's about when I got out. Because I went in November of 2010.
Okay. Well, cool. Like I said, we can go in this all day. This part right here, you guys. Like, this is a car show. Like, all right, we're cool. Anyway, guys, you go to the Blaiant, scroll on there, you check all those cars out. The case in point I got there because it's kind of like a running joke around town, and people jab you about it. So I mean, between yourself, myself, I believe Josh, and like collectively had like a lot of cars.
Yeah.
And then like there's guys like Alan at Top Car that has had a lot over time, but like had a lot at the same time. Like you have the keys to all of them.
Yeah, I do.
So like not just one is selling, one is sell. Like it's just crazy. When I was active duty, I had 7 cars. Oof. And they were all at MSP at that time. And then I had a car, I had 4 at the house, and then some other stuff. I think I had more than that. I just honestly lost count. But anyway, man, like so all this stuff right here, man, is obviously you like cars a little bit. I think
a little bit, yeah,
a little bit. So the like what like I always ask everybody this, man, because it's always cool. Like what year did you get into cars, and then what got you into them?
Okay, so my father, he was a mechanic. He was a Mercedes specialist, right?
Okay.
So I'd always been like around it. So I was always like into cars and like I didn't know too much obviously at that point in time, but I think what really got me actually hooked was the first time I picked up Gran Turismo 2 actually.
Nice.
So and I think that's what started it for me, and I was a little bit into everything, but as I got older I started playing some other games like let's say like Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, stuff like that, and my that's when I started getting into like Japanese stuff.
Nice.
Like drifting and all this other stuff. And I remember back to Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero, the first car I'd always pick was I didn't know it at the time, but it was a 180, right? And my first car was a 240, an S13 hatchback. Nice. So it was kind of
more connections.
Yeah, it's just the connection. That's just how it went all downhill from that. But this was probably like, just when I was a kid. So, freaking early 2000s. Yeah. Early 2000s. That's pretty much when I remember all that stuff. So I was a teenager.
Nice. So about this, I mean, even though I'm 30, I'm about to turn 40 in like a couple weeks here. But 97 is when I like Gran Turismo 1 is how that was my gateway. I didn't come from my none of my family did car stuff. So 90s, like, so everything I tell a guy in this wild, man, everything that you see from me, the shop, all derived from the Gran Turismo 1, dude. Like literally a fucking game, which is why I don't have like some people feel like a shame when they play a game. Like they're different now, so that's one thing too. They're not like I was just doing the VR stuff. It's a whole different. Like you got FD guys training on sims, you got F1 guys, NASCAR guys training on sims and everything. So it's cool to me. I pay homage to it. I've been trying to get with GT to like, hey man, like one of your prospects that play the game is like in Japan doing like cool shit or whatever, and it's just a wall there. So many people try to get at whatever.
How that goes.
Yeah. So it is whatever. They'll eventually I'll work hard enough and they'll see it and everything. So whatever with that. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Like the the same 97 is when I initiated. 99 2000 is when I found my first car guides and like learned how to drive the manual, like everything in like 5 minutes and everything. So same time frame. It's kind of crazy. You're old, dude.
Well, like I'm 32 now.
32.
So, but yeah, I was, like I said, I was still around that time.
We still like the same time though. We still like you were. Yeah. That's when it really like because I was into it, and then that 99 2000 is when it exploded. Like it was like it's pretty much been like if you go back and Facebook didn't start to 2003, and I got on Facebook right away from college. You go back all the way, man, to 2003, man. Every day I was doing car shit, dude. Like, I mean, literally, there's car. If you pretty much for the timeline too, if you go back 10 years ago, it's car shit.
Yeah.
Then on this day, 10 years ago, it's car shit. It's like you're into it. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, man.
Definitely into it.
Yeah. So and your brother is he into him?
Not as heavy, but because of me, he's definitely inspired. Because like for his birthday a few years ago, I actually got him a Laurel. So
yeah, I seen that.
So I don't actually. Do you want to scroll through? Because I think it was kind of
down or up.
Yeah. Let's see. A couple more. Right there, the right one.
This one?
Yeah. So
yeah, I remember you posting that one.
Yeah, I don't know if you can like scroll through, but yeah, I got him that because he loves my red Laurel.
Yeah.
And so I got him his own, and he absolutely adores it. So.
Oh yeah. It's cool stuff. And he's still active?
Yeah, he's over in Camp Lejeune.
Okay.
So that and since then, it's gotten coilovers, has wheels, but it's relatively stock. But still, it's super cool. And for somebody else, that one, I still have that car. It's just rotting away in a warehouse. I actually picked up another one of those recently. Yeah. So over in Texas.
Nice. So with that, man, like, what's your what's like you're in with all the cars, you just want to collect them, or because GT, obviously, a common thing with GT and everybody who play games is just like that thing when you buy a car, put it in your garage. Mm-hmm. We do that in real life, and like it's right? Like, and then like you do it, it's like you do it. Then for me, I got a problem where I'll sell a car. And I've sold since summertime roughly 20 vehicles, and there was just shit that I was going to get to eventually. But when I looked at it, I was like, dude, funds and time, I'm not going to touch this until 2028.
Yeah, and I've realized that a lot recently. That's why I'm trying to downsize a couple of cars. Yeah. Like, for example, the S15. Yeah. If it goes, it goes.
And even with the Rust, it's still a solid price, man. Like it's enough there for somebody to fix.
Yeah. So that's why I said if it doesn't go, then I'll get to it eventually. Yeah. But for now, it's just gonna sit.
Yeah. So what I was saying, what is your? Do you have are you looking to do like your own car business later, or are you just enjoyment?
Enjoying it for now, but. Eventually it would be cool. Like, I know a lot of people are starting to do reproduction stuff. Like, okay, this is something that's always bothered me, right? Yeah. So it's hard to get replacement parts, like let's say interior stuff for an S13.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to find a lot of stuff in good condition these days. But I can go to year1.com and I can build myself a brand new 69 Camaro if I want to. Yeah. They have the shell and everything. So, it would be great for people to start doing this with Japanese cars, because we know how they are about it, but because there's been people doing that, like I don't know if you know Project Mayhem. He's been doing like a lot of the louvers and stuff like that, and just trying to push for getting reproduction stuff. Example, a big one for me is Ganadors, because I love those, right? So whatever. Aero 23, Kabuki, JDM, they're doing the reproduction mirrors, even though, Ganador's still around. I don't know why, they don't make the stuff, but it is what it is. And, I see that emerging, so definitely, I would love to contribute to that if I could. Just have to figure that out probably once I kind of establish myself back in the States whenever I go back, because it's kind of hard for me to do here.
And so like you've been in Japan how long?
So... here in Misawa, I've been here since 2019. And when I was in the Navy, I was stationed in Atsugi. Okay. That was from late 2013 to the end of 2015.
Cool. So you're down there, yeah. So that's because you've been there. So I've been there 15 years. Like, what is there pluses and minuses to? I know the obviously pluses down to being in Atsugi. But like, which one did you? If you got gun in your head, like, which one are you going to pick to be like if you got to stay there, Misawa or Atsugi?
As much as I hate the snow here, I'd probably stay here because just since it's a little more, out of the city, it's a lot more peaceful. Yeah, and we have a lot more space. That for a guy, that's the part. That's like essentially that's why guys ask me, bro. Yeah, you're this many minutes from Daiko, and then like that for me personally, after 10, I've been there a few times, and after about 10 times, like I did the first 8 years of my car life was just going because my car was slow as shit. I would go out there and try to race and everything, but it was the guys who were running at that time 10s and 11s were like it was no point if you're 14, 15, 16 seconds. So pretty much every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for hardcore guys, we would go out and just
hang out in lots, man, and then go to car shows. So I kind of did that the first 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then one day it just clicked, like, I want to be doing active shit. That's just me personally. So, like, me, I go to, if my type of car I meet is, like, after we're done some hot laps and we're in the pits chilling and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's just how, because I think I've got my fill of this jerks, like, and bench racers and stuff like that. And again, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even have you in here if, like, I felt you were, like, one of those type of guys. Because there's guys here that I would never want to talk to for more than 5 minutes, and I make that very clear. And that's because, man, life is too short. I'm a PTSD guy, and I want to keep my shit as level as possible. So when I talk to you, it's not like I don't feel like I'm defensive or whatever. Mm-hmm. And a lot of dudes here, they just kind of like, they want to like quiz you and fucking quiz your GTR knowledge. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Man. Like, how fast does it go, dude? I don't care about this particular part and this and this. That's just not my thing. And some guys do, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not. I don't collect stamps. I collect cars. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's why I mean, right at the top for guys will know, like, why you don't talk to me and stuff like that, or this and this, or it's just. I'm approaching 40. I got 5 kids and a wife, dude. I got a lot of in that business, so there's a lot of other things that are priority. And for me personally, I have to work on like not letting everything bother me, because that was a thing. Like, I used to fucking get pissed off about everything and shit that just didn't really concern and everything, man. So for you mentioned, do you want to talk about your past relationship or whatever?
It's fine.
I didn't know. That's something I learned just now as you sat down.
Oh yeah. I was married one time, but we didn't end on bad terms or anything. Like, we still talk every once in a while. Maybe you should see this. So
so was it right after you got out, right after basic, or because that's what everybody does it?
So me and her, no. Me and her are actually dated where we were dating in high school. So, and then a little bit on and off, but mostly together. And then eventually we ended up getting married after I got out of boot camp and stuff. But about a year after I got out of boot camp. But it was good. She came with me to Atsugi and everything. And then a little bit after I left Atsugi, when I got back to the United States, things just weren't working out. But we weren't fighting about it. It was
amicable was cool. Like, it's not like, and I know a lot of guys that this is odd. A lot of my car buddies, when they do break it off, it's not like, I mean, for the most part, they're like, hey man, I like cars a lot, and you seem like to not like it or whatever is going on, and I'm not gonna change. So later, and everything. So was it car?
No, it was just, there was between us. Like I said, we were really mature about it, and we talked about it. So it just doesn't work. But like I said, me and her, we're still talk every once in a while. Like, again, there's no bad blood or anything. That's awesome. That's what I've seen a lot of these days, and it's really sad. But
then most of the times it's because the both, either one or both parties is just not mature enough to say, hey man, we're not compatible. Yeah, and like, let's just and they're like, we're not compatible. And it's like, it's just it's rare. It's rare. So I know a few people that, and it's weird. The weird one for me is when I added both the husband and wife on Facebook. I got roughly 4 or 5 of those where I added them as a couple, and now they're divorced, and I still have both of them like on my things. I don't go and and they didn't see nothing bad or anything stupid, so I don't go. I'm not a clean house. They delete themselves. So that's kind of wild to see them both. I met them married, and they're both living. They got different partners and multiple kids now and things like that. So it's whatever, man.
Life goes on.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's not, everybody's not compatible out there, man. So with the one thing I wanted to talk about the top, man, because I know, like, I mean, obviously you're into drifting and stuff like that. Yes. So like, I know you mentioned like the I mean, we've talked a handful of times, like buying stuff and everything. Last time you were here, you bought the harness for the JZX, and like, far as like drifting, man, like, what's like your like, are you like this grassroots, or are you looking to do comps, or you just how do you enjoy drifting?
So I guess you could put me more in the grassroots type thing. Because I'm one of those guys that's more about style than the compy thing. But I mean, it's cool and all. Like, I mean, it does make you a good driver. But for me, it's. I can watch competitions, but 30 minutes in, I'm gonna be like, all right, like,
same thing.
Yeah, it's same
thing.
Like, I want to do something else.
Right, and this is from a guy who competes. Like, drifting is cool to do.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Drifting is watching it is like, I don't know how dudes go to Formula Drifting had those two days when you do the pro spec and all in one day, like, and it's like 15 people left at the end of the, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
1 hour.
If you're in it.
Yeah. Or like only way I can see those people in the stands, one of those people that they're like brother, sister.
Yeah, usually like,
you're connected to
it. Somebody connected to the driver or something like that. Yeah,
but that's crazy, man. But that's, I just never, like, I pretty much, I had an inkling that you were like, more in the like you didn't really care too much for like the comp stuff and all that.
I mean, it's definitely necessary though, because like I said, it does push people to be good at drifting.
Yeah.
But in turn, that I think it's good to do, because probably like with the Z, I'm gonna make it more of a little bit more on that side. But that's just to improve as a driver. So when I drive my stylish car, I don't have to worry about it, because it's gonna be a lot slower. But I'm not gonna be. You're like, you won't be fearful of driving it, because to you it's like just like a walk in the park. Like, have you ever seen Josh drive? It looks like he's just just on a Sunday drive. It's so just nonchalant about it. It's really funny to see. And you can see that with other people, and they're kind of frantic, turning the wheel, all this other stuff, clutch kicking, doing all this stuff. But some people, you look at them and they're just like, it looks like he's just just on a cruise. Right.
And that comes that even after stock, there's even like good drifters that they have the more quick, because like Taniguchi, he kind of has like he has a really chill style, and some guys like they just like to they're more like they're kind of more all over the place and everything. For me, I like the commanded car, so it's more, and that style also translates to how it moves, because it'll be like you'll look casual and then the car is actually. Everything is kind of methodical, slower. But then, like, you'll see guys, but they can, when they want, like, kick it up and ramp it up and everything and do what they got to do, man. But, yeah, some dudes, they're just, like their arms are just going like this. It's like, dude,
you okay in there?
Yeah, he's like, fucking hand goes through the middle of the wheel while spinning and shit. Like, dude, like, calm down, bro. Like, but most of the times that comes from the car. When you could do it, like you said, you explain what Josh does. You can only do that when your car is set up decently.
Yeah, that's because also a big thing that
if you're forcing it.
Don't really.
If you're like forcing the car, like you got to do that shit. You got to like fucking overreact, and you're like, because I got videos where like I drove a car that was fucked up or it just wasn't good, and you could see like you're pulling the fucking wheel. The wheel is binding, and then you got to pull it back up to make it go back the other way. And you got a bad knuckle kit, or one of the Ackerman is off on one side, and all that stuff kind of like leads into.
Yeah, I realized that really big this time around, because now is when I really got to drifting like heavy. Like when I got in here in 2019, I picked up a JZX that I split with a friend of mine, and with that car I actually started learning how to do all that stuff, and I learned how important alignments are, all this other stuff. And once I kind of started getting that down, your driving just progresses because you're not fighting the car, and the car will do it. That's why like my Mark II was beautiful. Like, I remember Jared, who you had here before, when I took him in my Mark II for the first time, and he was just wondering, like, how is this car, like, basically driving itself? Because I hardly touch the e-brake. I'm just using the momentum of the car and doing this, and it's just basically driving itself. Right. So it's just a good setup.
What arms and knuckles did you have on the car?
I believe they were Heymans, because they weren't branded or anything.
Nice.
Extended lowers. That's pretty much about it.
Suspension?
On the rear, I had a full arm set, so my suspension was pretty dialed, almost zero camber in the rear, good two-way, good bushings, like the Serial 9, like subframe bushings and all that other stuff. So all that stuff really helps a lot, and what a lot of people don't really pay attention to, sway bars. Having the bigger rear sway bar helps the rear of the car rotate a lot, and so my car would just literally just swing left and right with no real hesitation, almost like an S chassis. So, but having all of that and letting it work together made that car great to drive.
Yeah, I will say the JZX in like far as the stock, like if you just want to like suspension, diff, and then like just go. The JZX is one of the. And it wasn't a built. It was built for old fucking ladies and shit, and like old dudes, which is probably where you got a lot of yours from. They had the grandma headrest things in there, and
yeah. I never really had like the base model ones, but like a lot of the tours, they're the sporty ones, so the turbo cars.
Yeah.
And but yeah, they're great out of the box. That's why I like.
Yeah, the steering the steering ratio is really good. It's smooth, and then for a car that's so it's long. When you don't really even realize you got that much car behind you. It's nimble for a car that size. So my first time actually driving the JZX was on tollgate. Like dude threw me the keys to the car, and I was like, cool, whatever. So I took it and I drove it. I'm like, dude, this thing, and I'm like, so I came back. So like, what do you got? Like, it was pretty much just he had if I remember, I think he had like Tanabe or some suspension. That's it. Everything was stock. Yeah, it was so smooth. I'm like,
that's all it needs is coilovers and
he had a diff. He had
knuckles and a diff. That's it.
I'm like, that was crazy, man. So the ratio, what I mean, like for example, don't really care for them too much. I got a couple of them with Subarus. Subarus like steering ratio rack. That's why it does so well in rally, because it's so you drive Subaru and it's like so smooth. And some guys swap those onto S13s and other cars. The ratio, I'm not sure what it is off top. Again, I'm not one of those dudes. Like, it's fucking 35-1. Fuck, I don't know. It just spins fast. And that it just spins smoothly. And that's what I felt in the JZX90 I drove. I'm like, dude, long car, I felt it would be like kind of like heavy. Yeah. But it was really light. Yeah. And there's lock was quick.
Yeah, well, honestly, JZXs are kind of light for what they are.
Yeah, they are. Because it's like, the back is kind of,
the back is a tin can. Yeah, like exactly. I've definitely my old Ebisu car. I turned it into a hatchback.
It's smashed over that way, and like it's like, dude, how's it? I'm like, dude, because everything, the wheels is like the wheels, and then it's like all this trunk. So literally,
you can literally chop the trunk off of a JZX, and that's it. Like you don't need the back half of it, because one nice thing is that the gas tank is like right behind the rear seats.
Perfect. Yeah.
So like I said, I literally took this car and just. Whoop! Yeah, and it was hilarious.
And it's safe. Like, it's like something that it makes the JZX it makes the JZX more even, like, because you get smashed in the back, like you got the fuel tank S13s right there. Yeah. So somebody runs up under you, bam, puncture, spark.
Yeah, you're done.
And it's and that's I've never, luckily I've banged a few of them, but I never punctured one, and that's. Wild, considering the amount of times I've been on a BC and like how many points there are, like to go up on the track and go like this and slam down and everything, especially on North, old school course, and pretty much everything else is like pretty safe and everything, man. But as far as like get into that, man, like where have you other than MSP, and I know you've been to BC, what other tracks have you drifted here?
I've drifted in Fuji before when I was in Atsugi, but I wasn't too good back then, but I had a lot of fun.
The skid pad thing?
Yeah, the Doripa. So
and they revamped that thing recently.
It's still, I think they just like resurfaced it, because it definitely had some rough spots in it before. But that place was fun, and I'm hoping. I really want to go to a couple other places. I've been to Nico. I've been on the track, but I haven't. I'm sorry.
You got any Nasugi stuff in here?
Probably
all the way at the bottom.
Now this right here is all stateside stuff.
Okay.
So let's see. Oh, that's when I got my A&P license. Yeah, I'm an aircraft mechanic, by the way. That's what I do for work. Work for Northrop Grumman.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, because I don't know. Like, I know you guys got certain things you can't talk about, so I didn't let you want to bring it up stuff.
No. It's nothing crazy. It's just an airplane, man.
Who's this one?
Oh, this is my buddy Khalil.
Nice color, man of culture, man.
Yeah, for sure. And that car was when was this? 2007. He's had it painted like this for a long time, and he drives it everywhere, man. My boy.
You got those and all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's obviously like, so like what I never like what is it about the JZX chassis that like it seemed like that's your number one car? That's what you like the most.
That and C33 Laurels are my favorites for sure.
4 doors.
Yep. Well, the thing is they're just good at like they're not like the best at drifting, but like the thing is they're good at everything. Yep, that's me.
Looking like
with no hair.
Looking like what's the goddamn Paul Walker, man.
I've gotten that a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my old Mark II there too. Nice. Oh, so that Z, man.
The GX.
It's a GX81.
Nice. I had GX. I want to get. I shouldn't have sold that car, man.
It's a good car, but I sold it to get my Chaser back home, and that was definitely worth it.
Z?
Yep. So I used to, and I wish I never sold that car.
Yeah, one of the ones, man. I got so all right. That's a good. What's your top 3? I wish I wouldn't have sold.
That Z right there is one of them. Mm-hmm. I had another Chaser. This was pre-COVID, and I sold it because I was like, the only reason I sold it was because it had fender flares, and I didn't like that. I usually like to keep it stock body.
Molded?
Huh?
They were molded?
No, they were just like the bolt-on end style ones, right? And it was an original manual turbo car, October '96. You know, it would have been one of the first ones.
So they could say golf doing in there, man.
Oh yeah, it's my buddy's R32.
My buddy's
Jetta.
Oh, it's a Jetta.
Yeah, Jetta GLI.
Yeah. I got the R32 and there's like fucking pictures of a Volkswagen. Like, that's not the R32.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like,
well, on that subject, you know, like it's not just Japanese cars I like. So and that's when I was on my way out of Atsugi right there.
Which one?
That middle picture right there. That's my pack out date. You can see the Chaser that I brought home with me.
So that's why, I mean, honestly, man, that's why you probably got divorced, because you didn't want HHG to her shit in there. So it's like, nah, dude, I need all, it's like all that shit in there. So it's like when you pull up, it's like all that shit in like it's like I got my clothes in my bag, dude. Like all that shit's just fucking car parts.
This is basically just a garage.
Yeah. The fucking movers, like when they get the car guys, man, you just hook them up with like pizza and stuff, or
I'm sorry?
Did you give them like any snacks or drinks or anything?
I don't remember, man. It was such a long time ago.
Because I know, like, that's the thing. Like, if guys are there who like want a PCS and come, like for me, I joined the military just to get into Japan, and it worked out a lot better than I expected it. But if you like PCS and you got like, definitely hook them up with some pizza and or something, because they can be dicks about some of that stuff. Especially like I've had to pack and ship out a few guys' engines in the past, because I did Quan's. I did two. I did a he had a 2J, and I created it like just to the dimensions where they can pick it up and put it in their little thing, and a transmission, some other stuff and everything. So I used to do that back in the day before I got like busy. I would pack up guys' shit, and because there's a certain code and it can't have fluids in it and all that bullshit. Okay, but I've had guys show up. They show up and like the fucking engine they just pulled out the night before and it's on the ground leaking. You're like, we can't load that. And then they're like, "Hey man," I'm like, so I've done it. I've done it for guys a few times, man. But so your first duty station was Atsugi?
No, my first duty station was Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So, but from there, I picked up orders to go to Japan.
Nice. So Norfolk was like pretty much is it land or sea or?
So Naval Station Norfolk is just like the biggest naval base out there. But I was with VAW 120, and they were the fleet replacement squadron for E2 and C2, and I was an engine mechanic there. And
okay, did you work on heavies or did you work on we call them heavies in the Air Force?
On E2 C2s, you know, the ones with the pancake on top. Yeah. Those.
Yeah. So you had a top secret or?
No, I have a secret.
Okay.
So, but those were.
Was this?
I still work on them today.
Where's this at?
Oh, this is at Fuji.
Yeah. It was like yeah. This is like back there's like that big tire fucking thing that everybody gets caught more back there where my mouse is, I think. So everybody would get caught up in that shit, and when it grabs the back of the car, just fucking
it just swings them
swings around,
swings the front right into him.
Yeah, I want to get down there. I got buddies down there. I'm like, but it's for me personally, that's a long. I pass up a lot of tracks just for the skid pad. I'm like, unless I'm doing something down there where I'm not gonna go that far for. Yeah, that skid pad and everything, man. But
that's my first Chaser, actually. I miss that car dearly.
Where's it looked like that's off of another.
So that was actually off of one of the cars that Daigo drove back
in
the day. The Fanats car.
I've seen that before. I've seen that. It's like white car, but then like got some yellow shit. Like it probably is off the like the what's the dude? I've seen a lot of guys with the R32s with the goddamn man, Tetsuo. He had the R3. He had the R34 front end 32.
Oh yeah, the BR car. Yeah.
Yeah. So like seen a lot of guys because he would like fucking fuck up bumpers and just like shred them, and then like people would piece them back together. So it'd be this car, fucking pristine gray 32 with like a yellow fucked up bumper on it. Like, oh, this is from. Yeah, I've seen that before. I figure it was it looked Daigo's red 90. Was it 90 or 100?
No, it was a 100 Chaser. It was a Fanats car, I think it was.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But I just got it for like $100 back in the day. Yeah. It was the front and the sides. The rear was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, but yeah, that's crazy, man. Like I said, it's definitely that's all in there, man, and all that stuff, man. So when did you get out the Navy, man?
I got out in January of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a fun ride, but it was more of a stepping stone.
Yeah.
I know some people make it a career, but
but
it was definitely
trust me, man,
a good time. It's helped me get the job I have now because I still work on E2s, and I'm just here with Northrop Grumman, and Jazz Steph has their new E2Ds, and I'm here as support for that. So that's what's led me back to Japan again. Thanks to my time in the Navy.
Right. And I gotta ask, are you even like a airplane enthusiast, or that's just your job?
No, like I like airplanes too. So like, I got some use to staunch, but yeah, like I like a lot of things, and that's something lately that I've been trying to get into. Yeah. Like step away from cars. Like the last time I actually drifted was June of last year. Mm-hmm. And after that, I just kind of been like I don't even want to look at cars, Like actually recently I started picking up guitar again. That's something I used to do in high school, and now I have 4 guitars at my house.
Nice. Bass or
guitar. I got like 2 6-strings and 2 8-string guitars. So it's just, I'm trying to kind of pick up some of that stuff that I used to do, and it's just fun, just get my mind off of it, because like lately I've been kind of burnt out on it.
Dude, it's definitely that's the thing. And I remember your post when you said it, and I'm pretty sure I dropped a like or something on it. I'm not sure. I think it didn't comment, but like a lot of guys, man, they get into this point where it's something that they feel like Japanese are big for this. They're like, that thing they do identifies them as the person, and that's single-minded. And it's also like, you'll see, like, I told my wife about this all the time. Like, I'm not raising my kids like this. They're half breeds. They're gonna learn. Like, America's are good at a lot of different things. Some things better, and I think that makes a more well-rounded person, because when you go to because those people who just only fucking talk about. And I got pro license. I got a shop. I don't fucking talk about racing all the time, dude.
It's like it just becomes boring after a while. Like, so it's not boring because I love it. But like,
I know what you're saying.
It's just like, okay, like.
Yeah, something else.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
I need to do something else.
So I mean, on that, man, like guitars and everything. I mean, of course, you see all the stuff here. A lot of people don't know I've been making music since 2000. I actually started in 2000. I got Free Loops, which is now called FL Studio, and I used to, back before, I believe if I would have got really serious about it at that point in time, I would have definitely worked with some artists and everything. Now I'm decent at it. I'm really good at it, but I do it for my own. I like making music and my own. So it's pretty much something that, I could fire it up right now and make a track. Yeah. And it's just something a cool skill. Whereas I could talk about music, guitars, drifting, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, like the spectrum, and I'm good at like all of it. Because if I do shit, I'm really gonna really get into it. And then learn it, and then you move into the next. Like now, the last year I've been dirt bikes. Like I just went full bore into that. Did my first race, didn't finish last. And that was my first race, and like nearly like you're finishing dead last for your first like 4 or 5 races. Yeah. And I think it's just something like I want to do this. I watch a bunch. I'm pretty sure you like this, where you watch. If you would get into something, you watch a bunch of videos, and then you kind of.
Yeah, that's how you try to learn about something. So that's why YouTube and Google are great these days for that kind of stuff.
But you're it's weird, man. You're not young. You know what I mean? You're not old, but it's like a lot of guys. Would you agree that a lot of dudes like don't take advantage of they don't take advantage of Google these days? They just kind of want to ask you all your shit instead of like learning themselves, and then
so I've definitely run into that a few times where I'm just like,
don't talk about Jared too bad, man.
Don't worry, puppy, I still love you. But sometimes I just could just be like, oh, okay, here, look,
dude, like
look at this.
I just said on my last podcast, like this thing is like a fucking node, bro. Like tits and everything you want to see, like animality and everything is fucking cheat codes is like in the fucking air. It's like it literally pulls it in, and you can learn anything you want.
I was there in the beginning of that kind of stuff, so like that's why like I feel like I have decent experience kind of on both sides of the fence in that aspect, because I was like, okay, I remember dial-up, when I was doing watching for that stuff, like in Cartoon Network, all the games they had on stuff, but and then iPhone came out, and then just it all went downhill from there. I was kind of there. I was still young, but I was there at the beginning. So again, I've seen both sides, so I guess I got a good in between experience with that, and I think that's helped me understand it really well. And it's just like, like with what you can do with these things.
Yeah, bro,
days,
like
it's nuts.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, just
you
like
can make money with this thing.
Dude, I don't even know how much money I made. I mean, with this, I'm one guy that like this phone. I got this 2.5, 3 years ago. I use the phone until it's starting to break up, and then I get another one. My wife fucking has a yearly subscription with Apple, is what I call it. It's like you just get a new phone and a new phone. Now my kids got all her iPhones, like from her past shit. My youngest has the smallest, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, man, dude. Like I tell guys, dude, if you're in any kind of business or anything, man, like I mean, if your shit's not running like dead by the end of the day, not watching videos and stuff like that. Like I mean, dude, I've signed up for drift events. I've signed up for game changing things from a phone. I was working with the F-16s, and I got an invite to driving King of Asia, which was my first pro event. And the guy was like, "Hey man," like he hit me up, and we just got finished loading jets up, and he's like, "Hey man, I know you're working on the car and everything. We need drivers, and this is your chance to go pro." And I've been doing the whole fucking D1 thing and trying to do that and everything, and that's a whole different. D1 is killing itself. I'm just not. Yeah. What's your opinion on that?
Well, like I said, I don't really watch too much, but like I can see it though. Yeah. And it's just like it's always the same people. Yeah. And they're just I don't know, man. Bro, that's why everybody's going with the FDJ
because it's like a clean slate, and then like it's more honestly fair. Like I don't want to bring fair because fair seems like you're like a crybaby about shit, but you look back at D1 like 15, 20 years ago, it was Taniguchi, it was Arito, it was Ken Omura, it was the same dudes, and granted they're better than the rest of the dudes, but also you can see when they get edged out, and the judge's like, Ken Omura got this one. And you keep doing because those are the faces. That's the money. We don't want to get into the whole how much Yakuza is tied into it because they are. I mean, that's if you don't know that. You know, I mean, anything in Japan that has money in it, Yakuza are like they're like this in the background doing shit. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Believe it or not, Yakuza are real. They just in the background, and you don't really see like gang like Bloods and Crips type shit out there. There was a war back in the day, but that's a long time ago. But yeah, man, it's for me. It's just I put a bunch of money and time into it, and then honestly, I could look back and I fucked up in the qualifying stuff like that and kicked myself out and things like that. But it was some close calls sometimes, and then to go from trying to D1 divisionals and also being active military, bunch of deployments.
It's tough, man.
Driving the car like to the events. I mean, I drove from here to Maze and back. Like I was driving, packed the shit up, and hope I make it back. I just really didn't care. I was like, I'll get back eventually. But I just took that risk, and it got me a lot of respect, like in a circuit. But at the same time, the results were shit, and that led to me now. Like I was gonna go to Okinawa, and I was like this, and some stuff I had to cash out on. I'm not going. Like it's just I want to be there for the inaugural event and all that shit, but I'm not really into showing face.
Yeah, that's a trek though.
Yeah, that's a trek, and then to have shit results.
Yeah, and just the time and money that goes into that, because a lot of people don't realize that. People think like everything in Japan's close, but it's not, man. No, it is not.
It's long. It's long. And
like to get to my buddy Joe that's been here recently. He went to Sasebo to pick. Well, he purchased a car there.
The 34.
The 34, and he went there on the Shinkansen with the JR pass, and thank God he had that, because I think it took him like 10 hours to get there on a bullet train. Granted, he had to make a few stops, but it's still a trek even on one of those.
Yeah. And he was gonna drop it back, or
no,
just keep it down there
because it's gonna get shipped. Because
just keep. There's no point to bring it from up here.
The drive from Sasebo is basically on the other side of Japan, and just the amount of tolls and fuel you would spend to get here would be way more than what it would cost to just ship it over here.
Yeah, I drove. I charged a guy. Need you go. Need Hachima. I sold my DR30 reluctantly. That's one of my ones that I wish I didn't sell, because right after I sold it, I seen two in one day. But I needed cash, and it was just sitting there, and I was like, DR30, put it up, sold in like a couple days. I drove. I was like, dude, there's no engine in it, so like if Zero picks it up, they're gonna charge a lot of money for non-running car, no engine. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll bring it down there for this much. And so I drove, and there was this was about 30 minutes. Well, we'll say about an hour and 30 minutes from Fukuoka. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I've done that drive 3 times since I've been here. So
it's a long track.
But for me, I'm weird. I like traveling, dude.
For sure. But
I like traveling, but I was on the government dime 2 times. Mm-hmm. And it was twice on the government dime twice, and then the one I went down. I mean, he paid. I made him pay. Normally, if I go from here to Saitama, mm-hmm. I don't want to make, but I have the customer pay for the trip down, and then that's my responsibility to get my way back up. Mm-hmm. But I was like, nah, dude, you got to pay for both ways. I'm not fronting that. So that was like, yeah.
Something people don't realize here is the tolls on the
tolls, dude. Yeah, and that's what. And I actually did. I knocked off some cash. Yeah, I knocked off some cash, and I was like, I knocked off about $600. I sold the car. I made a little bit of cash from like, dude. I was like, and he was like, hi, okay. I thought he was gonna push back. Mm-hmm. He's like, hi, because he's seen like Masawa. He was like, I would charge fucking more than that.
Yeah, but
so that's like just this to this. It's like it's fucking down there, dude.
Yeah,
bridges.
It is rough, man. So that's why if you can get ETC, it's worth it. You
bro.
Save some money.
And I didn't tell you this, guys, but so you can put an ETC or any reader. So like if you got a K car or whatever and you put it in the truck, it doesn't know. So we'll just move on from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like they'll probably like, I didn't put this at the beginning of the podcast, man. But yeah, man, it's definitely you've been around, you've been here, you've seen more Japan than a lot of guys, and some guys just stay like here and Masawa and everything. And even you'll notice even the MSP, a lot of those guys their MSP is fine, but it got to a point. It got to a point where I wanted to level up, and you can't even though Masanori is really good at MSP, like he trained. There was one summer where before you got here that he lived at the Bisu, and he got to experience like all the different things and everything, and that brought him up even higher than what he is. Yeah. And then he's the dude. I met him when he was like 14, 15, and he's like champ at like 27, 28. So it's like now everything is just like I've already done and it seemed like I noticed, man, he's like, I've already done it. And that's kind of cool to see. He's like, yeah, I've done it once. So now everything is overtime, fun time now. Like I can do whatever. Mm-hmm. The pressure's off. He's already won and like also his livelihood is not riding on championships. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about like his situation. But guys like they'll see like guys like Masanori and everything and feel like, it's a dream. Like like dude, like you see Masanori guy has gray hairs. And he's like 28, 29. Like he's
Oh man, I haven't seen him in a bit. So
yeah, he got like that's from all that like he's the next guy. And then now they're doing Kanta there. I was there when Kanta did his first figure eights, and now he's doing that. And that as a guy that's pro and all that shit like that. And if you look at it from a jealous aspect or jealous or envious, is like he just started and Shinji-san just started. And like he has a fucking GR Super thing and everything. It just comes down to seat time and also connections and things like that. So MSP is really connected with Team Orange. That whole thing, Kumakubo, and they grew up riding bikes together. So naturally he's good, but also there's also like it takes, and you can see that in F1 and everything, man. It takes more into being good you got his connections, man. Yeah. So like there's events that I'm trying to get into like Time Attack, because Time Attack honestly is that's where I go. I like Time Attack just as much as drifting, but honestly that's where the money's at for me. Like a lot of guys drifters, I'm a drifter too, so I understand you cannot be a drifter and fucking drop your shit off at a shop. You can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't. Unless you got bags of money, kind of like Josh seems like he has a lot of. Josh is good with cash, so that's he does that. But my personal opinion, like you're not gonna go too far. It's the little win and everything. You're not gonna go like too far, too high, unless the money is consistently there, and also to pay top notch shit. Because the thing is too, like for me, that's why I know I'm not a popular guy in town, because like I'm not shortchanging myself. I did it before, and I know what I'm worth. I know what I can do and capable of. So like we're not gonna play that. I'm not Best Buy. I'm not matching prices.
Yeah, so,
it's definitely.
I've definitely backed away from that because I used to help a lot of people with stuff, but now
and that's your time. Like, that's your time.
Exactly, and I'm just like I only do it for the people I care about.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so that's all. And I started. The good side of that, because I gave a lot of my time away early on because I was good at wiring. I did my first major job. Major was did a Civic swap, the B18. Did all this is back before the forums were starting to get pictures, and it was all message boards back then. And like there was you go get the Haynes manual, shit like that, and wire shit up. There was no Hassport, there was no Honda, there was none of that shit. You had to wire shit up. You had to look at shit and depend it. And so I was doing that in like 99, 2000, 2001. So swap. That's why swaps are kind of like I like swaps because it's something that seems hard to people, but it's like you measure, it can fit there.
Yeah.
Drop that shit in, dude.
It definitely takes certain skills to do that for sure, and I understand that.
And then to be in Japan where they do it, but it's more recreational because they don't want to pay the money. And guys who don't know out there, if you swap, let's say like a 2J into a R32, 2J is 3.0, R32 normally is RB20, depending on which one you get. That's 210. That's what 1 liter up. So you're gonna pay to do JCI road tax, all that shit. It's roughly if you don't have a hookup on it, you're gonna pay roughly $3 to $4K.
Just on paperwork.
Yeah, just on paperwork. Yeah,
that's
just on paperwork, dude.
It's one of the things I don't like about here.
Yeah, that dude.
Even something simple like a SR20 into a 180, like if it was a C8, you have to do that too.
Fucking 1.8, and they literally plug and play.
Car. Yeah,
they literally plug and play, dude. Like this, not that point, whatever the fuck liter up.
Yeah,
it's not gonna make the car to self-destruct and everything. So now I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the cappuccino down to the K car. This is I know it's not gonna pass. But I just want to put cameras all around it and just fucking see their faces. So that's I think that's gonna be cool, dude.
That'll be great.
Just take it down there and then play the dumb Gaijin card all the way through. I'm gonna go through the fucking line. I'm gonna do the paperwork, and then I'm gonna fucking have all of them outside like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, dame, or whatever. So that's gonna happen, dude.
Oh,
that's
man,
gonna
that's
happen.
That is so funny, man.
Yeah, I just need money and time to get on that and everything. And
that'll be great.
Yeah, but
yeah,
man. So mention on that, like, you've been there for a while, man. Like that's like, and people will think like, I'm not a Japanophile. I like Japan, but I'm not one of those guys like everything is sugoi. No, because it ain't. Like everything is
no, it's not.
Yeah, you know, like
there's cool stuff here, but
so what's a couple of things off the top, man, like that. That you just like go in, man. Like with just no holds barred.
All right,
about Japan, man.
So one of the things I miss is being able to go to Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly's and get more than 2 spark plugs of the same type. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's why I order 24 at a time.
Yeah. So they have like part stores here, right? But it's not like what we're used to back in America, where it's just like, oh yeah, let me get this starter for this 86 Chevy, right? And they're like, we don't have it here, but we can get it to you, you know, either later today or tomorrow morning. It'll be here from the hub.
Yeah.
But here it's just like, we need the title for the car to see the year. We need to check the VIN number, see what engine it has. You have to order from the manufacturer. Costs $400 and it's gonna get here in 3 months. And then it gets here and it's the wrong part.
Yeah. Case in point, the title they were like, I go to Go Motors I never go to, even though I got Toyota right there. Yeah. I went there one time and I was like, hey man, if I needed to, I got, you know, obviously I got a fucking hot road crew there. I got an MR2 that's really fucking built down there, 2.2 whatever, all that shit. And I was like, hey man, I do a lot of Toyota shit, so could I come over and order parts? And the dude was like, and I was like, don't even. As soon as he did that shit, I was like, I died you with this. And he was like, and he looked at him like, I don't. The fact that you did that means you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's not even.
That's something I learned. I'm just like, I hear that. I'm like,
that means no. Nope. That means they don't want to fucking tell you no. Like me, I'll say no.
I know they're trying to be polite.
I'm not doing it. I don't do pops and bang teams here, man. Not doing it, dude. Not installing. I don't do HKSF Compro. We're not gonna do that.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm not paying the money to get the real software.
Yeah. So, I know it's definitely antiquated, but
I got one.
That's what I actually have in my my Red Laurel. It works fine, so I just leave it alone.
If it works and you don't get wiped out and things, like, it's cool.
Yeah, I leave it alone, and it does what I like it to do, and.
I got guys that are looking for. If you're looking for like blind, I have a JZX 100. JZX 100. The HKS Gold down there. So I'm gonna buy that shit. So I'll put it up later. But yeah, man, it's So what else other than the I knew I had a feeling. I was thinking Napa or O'Reilly's, and you said AutoZone. So yeah, all this one I had the little key fob, military discount, and
yeah. I used to do that too, and they had the rewards, and that always came in clutch.
Yeah, and then after like about generally for me, I had in Andrews I had 2, and after like the first few times they knew my shit was a Frankenstein because I had a 240 obviously out the big glass. Mm-hmm. They do that for a reason. He's like, well, I know you pull up in a fucking Miata, so why do you need GM why you need 8 coil packs because I got a fucking Ellis in it. So they know that shit.
Wait, Ellis Miata? You had one of those?
I mean, no, I didn't have one. I'm just saying, for example.
Yeah.
But I had my S13. I had a hatchback. I had KAT.
I remember that because I used to go on your site when I was little because I was like, oh man, this is so
Which
cool.
Which
one? Because you had like all the write-ups.
Oh yeah, I still got it, man.
You still do? Yeah, I remember that when I was younger. That's
crazy, man. You're the second person that I met in person that I know that used the.
I could never afford any of that stuff because I was, young and broke and in high school. But like, I would always look through it and I was just like, oh man, this is so cool, such cool information. There it is, yeah, big game hit. I remember that.
Yeah, that was number 1 on Google, dude. Like, yeah, still, it's just let me see how much it is. That's the car.
Yep, I remember that.
Pretty much, yeah. So all this shit was like,
I remember the turbo manifold, the white bunny setup.
I'm surprised that everything that's like blanked out was all.
I remember.
They were Emmett Shack. Mm-hmm. And I might revive this, man. Or actually, what I was thinking about doing, because obviously, I don't want to give out too many secrets now because I got to make money off of it. But like, do a paid like version of YouTube where I'll do some like how to install a camshaft and like do the full thing because some guys beat around the bush or they don't show shit.
Yeah. And
I used to do this was something I did because I could never find shit, man.
So I remember that, and I always thought it was so cool. It's like, oh wow, this guy like knows all this stuff.
Yes, that's great.
You see what I'm saying? Look, it just comes around full circle. Look at this now.
We'll see. Well, with this, all this happened. I use if you remember Tripod Geico's tripod site. It was like it was a little bit after it was dial up stuff, and so I used. So this was actually I'm surprised this is still here. So Tripod is what I use, but I didn't want to pay for the service, so I used the free accounts. Mm-hmm. So this is a combination of 6 free accounts and everything. So like I would put the pictures on there and everything. And this was back when Emmett Shack was a deal, which is why all those are gone. I had them on Emmett Shack and PhotoBucket.
Yeah, I used PhotoBucket a lot.
And they and I think the only ones that are still here are PhotoBucket ones. And if you click on them, like they're all so that one comes up.
That one's still up.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah, there it goes.
But with the big old PhotoBucket on it.
And it was this was back when I was trying to save money and I was like shimming.
Was this when you were in Japan already?
This was at the hobby shop. So this was when I first got this was
here or you were in Yokota as well, right?
No, this is Misawa.
Oh, this is Misawa. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the hobby shop, Bay 1. And I did them in there. I did for the guys who don't know, you can add shims to the VLSD, and I blew that shit in like the same because I over shimmed it.
Yeah.
And I just jammed them in there. So I pretty much put in there like I did the math and I was like, 1 way, 2 way, and you just let me know how it goes with this one. It's like, so that was like a really thick shim. So I just jammed that shit was like in there, and I just fucking like hammered it in. I was like, this is gonna be bad. So the first drift at MSP, that shit just popped.
Wow.
And everything, but yeah. So I don't this welder shit. I don't recommend shimming and going through the problem and all that shit, man. So
yeah. I mean, at this point, the thing is that these things are so old.
Yeah.
That because I remember all these old tricks and stuff, and people are still trying to do them. I'm like, man, the thing is so freaking
we did
so
it.
fucking old that
for example, the white bunny one. I got the whole time while we were talking about it, I didn't have it up on there. But anyway,
okay.
So you guys can see it now. This is the write up page we were just talking about the whole time. But the white bunny thing was because there was it was a bigger clutch.
Yeah, the surface area.
The surface area was bigger, and it was. I mean, honestly, it wasn't copper mix, so it would last a little bit longer because I was blowing. Dude, I didn't have money, bro, so I was going to the junkyard and I blew. So my 240, I went through 4Ks before I learned they weren't Civic engines, and that's why I kept blowing them. I kept revving them to fucking 79, 8,000. And and I went to this one car meet. I went to the car meet, and dude was like. And his shit was nice and clean and everything. And I just start like talking. He's like, yeah. He was like 30 he's our age now. He's older actually. And he was like, so what are you revving at? I was like, about 79. He was like, no, bro, these are different. They make power. They got torque. They're truck engines. And when he told me that, and I had KT. And when he told me that, man, that last one lasted long, and I PCS, and then that car eventually got parted out. Mm-hmm. It literally, the whole car was to get one fucking roll cage for D1. It's like a 12-point roll cage, which is not illegal anymore. So, yeah, and the body was fucked, but I was just trying to get. But yeah, man, that's crazy that you mentioned it.
Yeah,
because you're the second guy that I met, and I used to put all the little tags in there, and this is back before hashtags. You just put shit in there and people would get it, man.
Like I said, this was, I think I got my first S13 back in 2006.
Yeah, I'm gonna revive
and
this shit, man.
Yeah, and like I said, that's just what I remember. I just remember all that old stuff and all the old write-ups and stuff. Like especially on, I know Nico Club has that one page. Yep. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, so
the 240SX technical something.
Dude, but I'm on all the even. I'm on all of them, bro, and I get reminded every birthday because it gets send me the fucking happy birthday shit. My whole thing be like this forums. I'm like, dude, I don't remember I was on all of them, dude. So Sylvia and all that stuff. That's awesome, man.
Nico Club were like the big ones.
I mean, for me, it makes me happy because it's like I don't know who uses them. I had a counter there, but I guess it disappeared. But and you can do the weight. Actually, you can for guys who don't know, we're not computer savvy. If you want, you could put this in a Wayback Machine, and actually it'll bring up the cache version. So like I guess until like some 10 years ago. Okay. So a lot of this stuff like the bad gateway one, you can still put that in, and it'll actually bring up all the pictures too. It'll have it stored in that database. But yeah, man, this is this is pretty cool stuff, man. And then like you mentioned, that was on there, man. So
like I said, and then I realized like that was you when I got here, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy, man. Like, I'm only 39, dude. So it's not, I'm not like Mike Poole's age, stuff like that. But it's like Mike's been on there. Mike's my buddy, man. But and Mike's not that old either, man. But it's like literally, man. How do you like if you see like a young guy in the cars and everything, and you get like you said before, you got burnt out on it, so you get so like wrapped up in like what you're doing that, like, for example, we brought up Jared. And Jared, like
forget about
15, 16 years ago, Jared was like this tall, with like big glasses, and like he was in elementary school. Now he's fucking. Now you got guys like that old. Like, do you think like that? Like we're walking and hanging together.
He's a year older than my brother.
Yeah,
and my brother was born in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep, sometimes I forget about it because like to me,
we're all together. We're just like so it's like you got.
But like the age gap doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, well, okay. Another funny thing with me and Jared is we actually live like 10 minutes away from each other back home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally. True. Like he's down the street.
You met here?
We met here.
Okay.
That's attributed to the age gap because I have 12 years on him. So obviously we didn't have the same group of friends. We know a lot of the same people though that also because they're in his group. But now that I'm older, but we start seeing these guys because they're driving now, but yeah, it's just it all connects, man. Eventually Jared's gonna be in our position.
Yeah, so then that's great, and that's what I told him. Like, and that one thing I like about Jared, man, and because I'm not, I never was all right. So to make it make sense before I even start talking, man, like I don't, if I don't ask somebody for like advice or whatever, I don't want it. To be honest, that's just the way I, what I mean? Because now, especially with the, you don't know my life experience, I don't know your full life experience, things like that. So my thing is when you do that to somebody before you know them, you're assuming that they don't know some shit and everything. And with the in the shop, I had to tell a couple of guys like straight up, don't come back to my shop anymore. The way they came into my shop and like, oh, you could do this and that and this, and I'm like, what the fuck do you even do? Because it turned from being pleasant to like me being like defensive. And also saying like, and also is respecting. I wouldn't go on Top Secret and say, hey man, you think about ever turning your spark plugs upside down and putting them in and make more power? You'd be like, who the fuck is this dude? Yeah. And not even knowing I've done a lot of shit in the industry too, a lot of stuff, builds and things like that. But I don't feel like a need to display that. I know I did it. People who know me know I did it. Obviously, we just discovered that you've been on the write-ups and everything.
Yeah.
And then I met dudes here in Japan that I argued with on Sylvia, but they didn't. I was showing some stuff. He's like, "Oh, big aim hit. You're the guy." Dude, I had a guy in my thing that we had a fucking like fuck you argument, and then now he's standing next to me and shit physically in person. He's like, well, I didn't really mean it like that, stuff like that, and like I was like, yeah, you did. You just didn't. You didn't think in a million fucking years that you'd be right here. because we were standing talking.
People don't like to be confrontational. Bro. Like it is so funny because like I'm not afraid to say what I have to say, even if it hurts feelings. But like, well, that was from being in the military, being a supervisor. Because sometimes I have to be like that. But it's just like, oh man, as soon as you take that keyboard away, man. It's just,
I'm
it's like, what's up, man?
I've done it many times here in Massawa. Where that's why I'm not on the gear here, because I don't want to open up that portal. Because like I'm very like, hey man, here's my grid coordinate. We can come talk. Because I'm not gonna fucking. We're in the same radius. Like if the bomb hits, we're all gonna die in the same radius. You know what I mean? If you're in the same radius to die from a bomb, then you're close enough to come talk. And I'm not gonna. So social media, I really like it and value it, and it helps me make money again from this phone right here. And doing what I have to do, so I promote on it. But there's now in the day and age, man, where a lot of the guys are just kind of getting too comfortable, and it's not even like I'm not. My thing is if it's damaging towards my character or business, then we got to talk about it, because it's like obviously you've heard something that's not true or whatever, and it's not even a thing with my business, to be honest. Luckily, the whole Tommy F. Yeah stuff and all that stuff going down. A lot of those in the GMG with T-Pain. Yeah. Those guys honestly bought that on themselves, man. Like they were knowingly doing sketchy shit, and in a day and age today with all this stuff and how you can damage somebody in a matter of minutes.
I hate people like that because they keep getting away with it. Like I know there was a shop in Okinawa
and they don't care about it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and that what I hate is it makes my shit hard, because now I have to know shit. I'm downstairs talking to a guy about his results. I got pictures, video, everything, and he's looking at me like, one guy was literally squinting, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you cool?" And that's like you said, the whole thing on my conference. I was like, "You cool, dude? Something's like, you seem like you're not buying what I'm saying." He's like, "Yeah, man, I got ticket." He just started fucking. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
I'm like, and I listen to him.
That's so sad to hear, man, because like people are just trying to do what they love, and I hate people that take advantage of that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, even if a dude pays me over like $5, like some companies don't, they were like, yeah, cool, they take it. They don't know the guy can see on the thing how much it costs to ship it sometimes and everything. So I give the guy, I don't even say, I just send the money back. I just send the money. If you pay me $5 over shipping, I send it back. I do a lot of shit to kind of I sleep all at night, and I've been open now 7 years, and there's been one dude who attempted to like kind of do like he was saying some shit, and dude, literally all my guys were screenshotting me like, yeah, dude, everybody's going in on this guy. He was saying some dumb shit that's obviously not true. He said that I didn't give him a post brief. I'm like, dude, every dude's like, dude, this motherfucker's done only an engine check, and we talked for 30 minutes about what it is, and all these guys are just chiming. I didn't have to say shit, because all my guys were just like,
yeah, like if you're, it follows you,
it follows you, man.
Yeah, so like that's why I definitely I don't like. I'm just a nice person, and I feel like I'm a nice person in general. But yeah, like I couldn't knowingly do that to somebody. I would just man. I couldn't do it. It's beyond what I could do.
Well, the thing is, a lot of guys don't want to say no, because money is, everybody wants to make money.
I understand that.
Everybody wants to make money, but the thing is, dude, just last week, I turned down something that I could have made probably $500 from, but it was like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, and I'm not saying like I'm above 500, because any money is great as a business owner, Altamira especially, but the people in this industry don't know how to say no. That whole GMG thing is because they didn't say no. I can't rap. I can't, like, I can rap. I can actually rap stuff. I can actually do raps, but it's not what I.
It's not like. Yeah. There's a difference between like, oh yeah, like I can do this professionally versus like, I can do it. It's not the best.
Right. So I rap the dirt bike, and I'm like, I contoured the whole thing. Like, I'm like, I can actually rap shit, but it's like, that's not. They can go to that's always picked up Mike.
There's guys that can do that with blindfolded.
Right. So for Mike, you brought up Mike, man. Like, audio. Obviously, I know audio. I've done it a bunch. I make fucking music and everything. I understand amplifier. This shit's easy. But Mike, I always like dudes. I'm like, dude, Mike Patton is who you need to go to, because this is what Mike does. 10 times out of the week. He already knows the components you're gonna need. I can figure it out real quick. He already fucking knows.
Yeah. Like, I let him like my box from my store. I let him do it. Yeah. And. Sure, I could probably do it.
And you're not like, hey man, you think about you fucking. You're like,
no, hey, I let him do his thing, because like, okay, so the box came together really cool, and this is where his creative juices go flowing, because like I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be like a flat panel, whatever, right? Yeah. Because I replaced the back seats with the box, pretty much is what I'm doing. But like he made all these like little platforms and all this other stuff, and I was like, oh, I never would have thought of that, but that's because he's been doing this for so long. So like, he already has the basics down, so that's where the great. I feel like that's where the creative juices can start coming. Is like once you're comfortable doing something, then it's like, oh, okay, now what else can I add on top of that?
Yeah. So and that comes out in tuning too, man. A lot of people like Japanese. I actually don't. I've been open 7 years. I've had 5 Japanese customers. 5 because what happens when they come here and they see the GTR, they see a JCX, they see a 13B on the table, they see a Z. So then they like this fucking guy, like he's doing like everything, and the way Japanese are, and I told my wife is stupid, honestly, the way you guys do that is they believe they gotta focus all their fucking energy on one thing. Like, bro, you got FSM there, same nuts and bolts, torques and everything, specs, tolerant bearing, pressures, your clearances, your line honing. Like, there's a mechanical. You can't put a camshaft inside a rotary. Yeah, it's just that part is the way the center shaft goes. You know what I mean? So that's just like, yeah, rotaries is its own thing, but when you really break it down, it's very easy. And then you look at the 2J, and they got things like, for example, I've done a lot of timing jobs. The JZ just fucking is my favorite timing job. It's just the favorite time.
So cake.
The whole front is just like turn it, take the whole fucking belt off, blah blah blah. You take the covers off, you're at it. Like and then, for example, my JZ timing jobs is cheaper than my RB timing jobs.
Yeah, when I did it on my old Laurel.
Yeah.
What I hate the most is the tensioner.
Yeah,
because it's just like, how do I know if it's?
And the thing is, I've done it so much. I know exactly where the proper one is. It's like a angle where the bolt is, and it's like it's pretty much right like that.
Yeah.
And like some guys, I've had dudes down in Yokosuka have went through 3 RB26s because he went through this. It was these Filipino cats down there, and if you know who they are, you know who they are. They were like I could do all this shit, and they were cranking this shit, man, all the way to like fucking like 9 o'clock, and then locking it in. The belt can't flex.
Yeah, it's too tight.
It's too tight, and that shit like
you can hear that stuff.
Yeah, immediately. Like as soon as that shit gets some heat in it, it's like, and to the point where what I do to my track, and I ask customers, do you want me to do it? Because I can do it. I might, whatever people, I might actually like. Yeah, I'll keep it offline, man.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, because that's actually an idea that I have to help. You probably already know what I'm talking about with the tension. Yeah, the front cover, the lower cover, whatever.
Maybe.
The lower cover, putting a hole in there so you can actually, if you need to on the fly, not fucking take everything off just to adjust it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, that'd be super convenient.
I've done all my cars got it, because it don't matter the belt. You could go with the Tomei, HKS, standard. You tension them all the same. They all react differently depending on the actual material, because the HKS fine tooth is really it takes heat differently.
Okay.
So the heat that goes off, especially when you're racing, if you're just driving, it really doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, because I put a Tomei in the white Laurel.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah,
just because it looked cool.
Yeah.
So
and they're actually the material they used makes them and if you use a different camshaft, cam gear, it resonates differently. So like the sound is it's not actually nothing wrong. It's just the belt material, and then that material of the you can tell if it's aluminum or thick aluminum, thin aluminum, or steel. They all sound different and everything. So that's one thing where, and then even like the ease of install. Like, so if the belt's some shit from fucking Indonesia, that shit, the marks are not, people don't count them. That shit's just like, I can mark that shit and be like, yeah, that's the mark. And they don't count the fucking thing, and they go to put it on, and it doesn't fit. And that's where you get into shit. Me with RBs, man, my shit goes right on. It's a trick to get them on there. And when I first started, I would fucking set the cam off and then pull it and then put it back on, and the cam rotates and shit like that. But I got the tools, and I've done enough of them.
Yeah.
But still, even being and people, I've had a lot of RBs. I work on and own everything. And I'm not as many RBs as I've had and the success I've had with RBs. If gun to my head, I'm going to pick a JZ engine, man, because out the box, this is how I think about it. Out the box, you can beat the shit out of the JZ more than RB. Out the box, you beat the shit out of a JZ more than SR. And you can kind of go back and forth. Now, out the box, like depending on the 4G63, which year you get, out the box, those are two engines where you can just beat the shit out of them, depending on the mods and what you're doing, the RPMs, and if you got the counterbalances and all that stuff like that. So that's why I like.
That's why I love my 6.
Yeah, that's why I like. And it's smooth. The Yamaha, they did a fucking awesome job on it, and that's why I like to, like the UZ engine is harshly underutilized here, and
it's just the support is.
Yeah, I mean, but if like I'm in a position where I can make stuff and do all that stuff, so that
that's another thing. That's another thing that's just difficult to do here.
Yeah.
Versus back home because.
Yeah. Case in point, aluminum. Yeah. I'm like fucking having to wait 5 days just to get some 60mm aluminum piping.
Come on, man.
It's like, and I was like, I don't want to
go down the street. Pick it up from the crackhead down the street.
Yeah,
he's already got this shit, you know?
Yeah, it's like I got copper. It's like, but yeah, man, definitely on that stuff, man. It's definitely that's why I do what I do, and I like to. I've driven every major sports compact car, and I can say, all right, JZX90 feels like this, a JZX81 feels like that, C35 feels this way, A31 feels this way because the fucking thing is no pillars and shit like that. And I think a lot of guys, and I mean, you had a lot of cars too, so you can actually say, yeah, Z feels like this,
the Z's new to me still, so I'm definitely, I'm looking forward to enjoying that. Yeah. But from what I've seen, they're good. They're just not the best sounding engine. But, we'll try our best.
Oh, well, the manual swap is one of the quickest manual swaps I've ever done, man. As far as the wiring is literally like 4 wires. Like it's dumb easy, man. Like that's an East Coast thing. Baltimore. Dumb means good, but
I'm looking forward to that. I think I hopefully acquired one last night. I just haven't checked the auctions yet, but
what the CD?
Yeah, because I what I like that they do here is they include everything: pedals, lines,
how much you pay for the kit, if you don't mind?
Oh, I haven't checked it yet, so I don't know if I want it. So I'm hoping I did.
They run around, for example, for the JZX, the ones I've done in the past. I was doing them on average 32 for parts, and now they're like, I see it. Like, my buddy Yoshi was like, "Fuck 8K, dude." I'm like, dude,
get out of here.
I was like, and then the 8K for like a used, and luckily this one cat is doing a new ones, so that is kind of cool.
Well, okay, so I remember Rasty.
Yeah.
I think they still have the same price for their thing, and they even put it on your paperwork. Yeah. I was thinking it was like $5,000 or $6,000, but back in the day, a JZX was worth less than that.
Yeah.
But now you look at it and it's like, oh, it's all new parts and all that stuff. Oh, that's a no-brainer at this point. But yeah, like at this point, it's better to buy a new R154. Like I have one that I have sitting that has probably bad bearings on it. Yeah. But I think I'm just gonna try to just get rid of it and then just buy a new trans for my Mark II, because at this point it's just like it's like the same, almost a couple $100 more. You have a brand spanking new transmission from Toyota, which they still sell, which is that's something still good about it.
Yeah, I've done a few of those, man. As far as the I bought like a few boxes, guys. Like and that's what I was telling one guy the other day, man. A lot of the we'll get into it in a second, man. Because you're like one of the you're the only. So Mike, shout out to Mike, was here last time, but Jared he came before the viewing and everything. So you're like one of the first guys I've had in the studio that actually seen a movie that thing on. So that's Blaiant right there and everything for the guys. That was and I was like, asking him, did he even know that he was on the thing? And he's saying like this, the same shirt he's wearing and everything. So that's pretty cool and everything. Man, so I'll click this and just run this. So pretty much this is from fuck. Turn it down. That's loud. Okay. So that was from this was from a live hoon and everything. So the movie's been out there. You guys, if you've been following me for more than 3, 4, 5, I'll say 5 weeks, I didn't really post too much, but a live hoon was a cool thing that went down on base and everything. It's a movie, livehoon.com, check it all out and all that stuff. You can see all that now about that. But in the movie, man, like so you already gave you seen that and everything and like what was the how do you, like so going back to my question was going back to like when kids were like, now we're doing our stuff. This movie is going to be some kids Fast and Furious 1. Like Fast and Furious 1, I was already in it, and then a year before. So I could see I was in it a whole year before it came out. And then when it came out, of course, that was a fucking like, let's fucking do it.
So that's another one. I know we didn't get like too far into like how I got into it, but that was also a big inspiration too for the Japanese cars, especially. Yeah. So, oh man.
So I wanted a GSX Eclipse really badly before I got into drifting, and that stupid fucking commercial was going with a chick with a little fucking wandy things, and like something about that commercial and that car. And my buddy had a really fucking nice one. He was already in the Air Force already. Yeah, he had a really nice one, and I thought because he had a GSX, he had an RX-8 when they first came the first month because X-Men came out and the whole door open and all that shit. So he had an RX-8, he had a Mustang he had everything when they were hot when they first came out. So I'm like, what the fuck do you do? He's like, I'm calm or some shit in the Air Force, and that started the. I was like, oh fuck! So this is what I got to do to get that. didn't know that he had somebody pass away and he got a shit ton of money. So yeah, then he's like, oh yeah, I didn't get that with Air Force money. I got some heritage, but the yeah, man. So that was that there. But I was saying this movie here is going to be some dudes, maybe even some kids that were watching that day, like WitchCon. So what do you think? Like do you believe this is going to be like a cult classic or?
Well, I hope so. Like it was really well put together. Yeah, so like
a lot of people haven't seen the movie yet, man. The crazy thing. I've shared it with some guys in the States, about roughly 30 people because I got the green light to do that, and they were all like fucking. I mean, and I didn't like say, hey man. So like they just all like, dude, this shit was fucking like dope, and like how much they spent. I'm like, bro, it was pretty much indie. Like they used GoPros and they paid the actors like bare minimum.
Yeah,
they didn't do any tour. They didn't do all this is off their back, no publicist, no nothing, man. So
yeah, and I like it because like I said it before, it just kind of captures the spirit of it for sure. Real
fucking driving. See, no CGI.
That's
no CGI was
the big thing.
Yeah, that was the big thing, dude. No CGI, and that's like in the age of like Michael Bay stuff and all that stuff like that, and even like honestly, not watching. I'm done. I was pretty much done with Fast and Furious after they jumped through the, and it's like, and I'm really like I said in the past, I'm not gonna watch it. I just have no interest. Like I have no interest, especially unfortunately with I call him Brian, man, but Paul Walker's passing and everything. I think that really put a damper on it. If I see it, I'll see it, but I already kind of know
what to expect.
I
know after I don't know, it was like Fast and Furious 21, wherever.
Now. It's like fucking Madden.
Like after I think the fourth one was where they kind of. I feel like the fourth one was kind of where it started to just
because Tokyo Drift was actually better than I expected.
Yeah,
and it was Tsuchiya was involved, and then didn't come to find out more connections. I had Nadine and Benson Sue, which were OGs in the game. That's who they were older when I started, and Benson was the first winner of like D1 in the States and everything. I had them on, and Nadine, her wife, I didn't know she was the Nyla's. She was a stunt double. Okay, so Nyla chick didn't grasp. She didn't know how to downshift the shit. Yeah. So literally, they had her going like this, and in the car, green screen, and everything. So I was like, it's like no shit. That was pretty cool. We didn't even know, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, man. But the Tokyo Drift was not as they had Reese Millen and a bunch of Sammy Hubernett and a bunch of FD drivers doing stunts and everything. So I was expecting the worst with that, and it was actually better. And then 4, like you said, 4 was just kind of like
it started to become like a
the fuck with when the Rock come in.
I think it was the 5th one. I want to say
because Statham was cool. I like Statham. I watch all Statham's movies, so he was like cool. Yeah, great. And then Vin got the same fucking cool guy voice the whole time, and his family became a thing around about 5, like a real hard thing.
Yeah, nothing can beat the power of family.
Yeah. So then. It's funny about Vince. Like a lot of guys don't know. Like he was a b-boy.
Really?
You never seen it?
No, I didn't know that. Bro. Oh, hey, there's my mark too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that was. Let me see. Vince. I say Vince. Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel. How you spell it? D-I-S-E-L. Dancing. Yeah, bro. He was a fucking. He was a b-boy, bro. Yeah, that's fucking.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, dude.
Yeah, people don't fucking like that's wild. You don't.
Yeah. That's like the thing. So like a lot of people are surprised that I actually like play guitar, and I'm just like, but like to me it's just like duh. But then I realized like I didn't really after I joined the military, like I didn't really pick it up again.
They even do say, yo, that's Vin Diesel.
There's no way.
That's Vin Diesel, bro. He was a fucking b-boy, and even he did a few videos after this went viral.
Yeah,
he did a couple. I can't find others, but he did a few. He was a fucking b-boy, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, skinny. This is like what we were talking about. You know, you don't know a person. You know.
Yeah, even with the podcast night, I when I start doing these, I kind of would like try to like. Because it's not, that's why I don't do notes, man. Because it kind of makes it confines you to to all that stuff.
I like this. Just we're just talking,
so I mean we just got on to talk about Vin, but yeah, dude, he's fucking b-boy, man.
That's crazy.
So he was doing the he did a few like tutorials and everything and videos and everything, but he did backup dancer for a few, Paul Abdul and all that shit, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was really skinny fucking Vin, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm always seeing him. He's always family.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's fucking Vin Diesel, bro.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, you really don't know a person, full experience.
For example, like stuff like that, man. Like, I bring it up just for example. I mean, I don't. Some guys when they do that, like I've been in Iraq, I've been shot at, I almost had to kill somebody before. Like I would have to save my guy. Luckily, I didn't have to. It's all a lot of shit that people don't understand. And then, like for example, I played Division I football at University of Maryland. I played with dudes that are we're in the pros. They're out now, and it's just I just don't, unless some guy has a fucking, there's like the one cat running around town with the Nebraska thing on. I never really, the Nebraska Jeep, his Cornhuskers all over it. Nebraska all over, it's a white Jeep.
Okay.
And I never like seen him, but when I do see him, like, I used to follow Eric Crouch, and he'll probably be fucking shocked that a black dude with a mohawk in Japan know who Eric Crouch is. He was a quarterback that he didn't make it to the pros, but he was fucking a really good quarterback. And he'll probably be like shocked that, I know who Eric Crouch is and this guy and blah blah blah. But yeah,
just like you mentioned about the big game hit stuff, man. Like I was just
that's fucking Vin Diesel, bro.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Fucking
that's
Diesel,
crazy,
man. Yeah, so to go from that to I don't know, I forgot how he got into like acting and stuff like that. But man, that's
pretty cool to see for sure.
Yeah, so then then he started doing some wild shit, man. Like he got like, it's weird, man. He has like so much money now.
Yeah.
That like he's into singing. He does singing and stuff like that, and he just kind of started doing some weird stuff, man. Like you can tell like John Travolta when he got F-16s and shit in the backyard. So it's like you don't have regular friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like you don't have,
like, oh man.
Yeah, you don't have so. Yeah, so everybody was like kind of clowning him about this but shit. But when this video made the people like, they was like, no, bro, he used to be a B-boy. Well, I said used to,
Yeah, but I mean, it's still there, for sure. That's
it's kind of
Oh man,
you like some OnlyFans shit. Like you don't need the money, bro.
Yeah,
like you don't need it, dude. So yeah, people was like, he was like trying to dance and shit. But they was like, no, bro, the dude fucking dances. Like I'm pretty sure if he put a little bit of training, he could do that shit again. Like you don't forget that.
Yeah. That's why I remember I picked up like a super cheap guitar because I was like, okay, yeah, like this would be fine, whatever, right? Yeah. And I started playing it, and I was just like, okay, no, I did not forget how a cheap guitar feels. Yeah. Like I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. How many views does this shit get? Yeah. Only got only 923K. Only, yeah. But shit, man, my videos I struggle to get fucking 300. But YouTube changed so much, man. But it's cool. Yeah. One thing I like is for me is few cool things, man. I like to I gotta check out dirt bikes today. But I like to dude, last night, bro. Last night I was fucking in here doing some shit, and people have this fucking idea, man, like with business people, man, that you kind of like everything is like. I mean, I got my shit squared away, but there's like some fucking. It was yesterday. I almost had a fucking aneurysm dealing with a couple of Japanese people over some easy shit, easy stuff that they just made. They blew out of proportion, and I got mad at my wife, and she's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Dude," she's like, "But it is like." I'm like, "No, y'all take that shit because that's your culture." Like, no, I'm not gonna fucking talk to two people to get pictures of a car. When the dude has a car and he has a fucking cell phone, but he don't want to be friends. I'm like, I don't want to be your fucking friend either. Just send me pictures of the car, and. Then now you got to take pictures, send it to the other dude to get back to me, and I was like, bro, like, this is a transaction less than $1,500.
Yeah,
I'm going to get the car from you. I just want to see how the configuration is, so I can know what to bring and stuff. If it got flat tires, no wheels, and it's just getting that is a pain in the ass. Like I told guys to email me, and that's like, I mean, because I track things there, and that's just like, I'm not telling you the fucking facts, bro. Like, what I mean?
Oh, let's not even get into that. Let's not even go there.
Yeah,
man.
So it's like I got a fax line that I used twice in the last like 3 years. But
let's not even go there.
But yeah, man, forgot what I was about to say, but I totally forgot. But yeah, man, so Life Room was cool and everything. I kind of going tired. That's why I stopped doing podcasts by myself, man, because I fucking be like all over the place and everything, man. But but yeah, man. So the Life Room was cool. Like I was just saying, like you got a chance to see it, and you got to see it on the big screen, which. That is definitely where you need that movie like that, man. Like you can watch it here, but it really
that experience of seeing it on the big screen is always
they hit IMAX too. So,
but yeah, I hope a lot of people definitely get to see it, and like I didn't think about it that way, but like what you were saying, like that could be somebody's catalyst. And it's a good Man, English is hard sometimes, man. It's not my first language.
Yeah.
So.
No shit?
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
full-blooded Dominican, so my household Spanish all the time.
Nice.
But,
I know. I remember Jared said, he's like, "Oh, you think I'm one of those guys that speak Puerto Ricans that speak?"
Like, hey, papi, ¿cómo está? What's up, man? You know, I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, that definitely is crazy that's going to definitely be like somebody's catalyst. I mean, even my kids who are 6 and my oldest boys are 6 and 4, and they don't fucking sit still. They don't sit still at all for much, man, and everything. So I'm gonna run it for the guys who are just running in the background. But they watched the whole. Actually, what they did is when they heard the tire screeching, they would
like, oh yeah, Daddy does that.
So they had their phones and everything going, so to go to the main site. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, probably didn't know he was like on a fucking on a thing there. So Live Hoon again, guys, very cool movie. No CG. I've had the director Ten's son here to shop multiple times. His son is actually in Boston in college, so he's gonna come back and learn drifting this spring and everything. So I was like, yeah, man. He was like, sorry, say you'll drive that one. Don't care about that too much yet. And yeah, man. A cool movie, no CG. Even the actors, they had the actors doing figure eights to get them in the car, and then they would swap them out and everything. So the actors they got up to the point of doing all the actors to the point of figure eights.
Nice.
And everything. The one guy actually, the one that was driving Yokoi's car, the antagonist, if you will, he actually was doing a little bit more. He wanted to learn a little bit more, so he was doing more than figure eights.
Okay.
And low budget, man, but it's low. I say low budget, like they put money into it. The director, all those flyers, that's all out of pocket, man. Yeah. All of the, he just and then he's working on 5 other films, like so, all that time, and then Nakamura and them didn't get paid like a ton of money. But one thing he's like, all right, sponsors, cool. So all their sponsors is getting tons of. Forever, Sicky is fucking all in there, man. So it's just ways to make it worthwhile to people there and everything. So and he's also Ten's son has also had Netflix joints and stuff like that. So he's been around for a bit. But it's just the whole thing that there's a Gran Turismo movie coming out now, and same fucking thing, almost same, but they got the Orlando Bloom guy in there. So Orlando Bloom is like the lead guy, and then like so you can't really compete with the. It's just that it's going to get overshadowed. So then people going to see Live Hoon and think that was a copy. Like, no, that was out before the Gran Turismo. And I'm a Gran Turismo guy, and I already know it's going to be a shit movie. It's just like if Metal Gear.
I hate stuff like that, man. Like,
it's just you
when
can tell.
See your favorite stuff. Live action. It's just like
I said, Metal Gear. I want Metal Gear. I'm a Metal Gear guy, and I was like, man, that's a movie that they can make. Like. Get some fucking body to play Snake and
first line better be kept you waiting, huh?
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, man. It's like, but it was like, man. Then again, it's like they'll fuck it up. Or Street Fighter got kind of fucked up a little bit. It was cool, but they weren't.
It's got that 80s cheese, man.
The
or
indie,
90s.
But the indie one,
90s, no, I don't remember.
The indie one with the animated, like the Animax one. That one was where they had Akuma there and all that stuff, and they had the backstory and right. That was like pretty fucking cool. But that was made again by a smaller studio. It's like the smaller.
Yeah, because they tend to do it out of passion.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a big difference. I feel like you can tell. Because because a lot of them are actually like dedicated to like that particular subject, and you can see it. Like especially like Dragon Ball, you see a lot of fan animations. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
What's one that I seen recently? It was one with
Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called though. But there's so many like fan animations, and they just go hard. Because again, it's just people are they love that stuff. Yeah. That's the one right there, Legend.
This one?
No, that one was so good.
Yeah. That's like a lot of the like I'm into anime, like I just used like my spark, and then I was like, oh, there gotta be some other cool shit. So I got into like the typical Bleach shit, and then I got into like then I just started going to Sword Art SOA, and it just kind of like it's like what I got all these fucking animes, man, and like I was not an anime guy. Like for example, Dragon Ball Z, haven't seen. It just got so. It just with the fan animation, the OAs, the different renditions is like I feel like it'll take like Star Wars. I've never seen all the Star Wars. It's just it feels like
so there's a lot. So I'm also like a big Gundam fan. And there's a lot to go through with that. So
it's like you don't know if you're watching like some real shit or some fan animation. It's like it's not. It seems like it's part of the universe, but it's just some fan made this shit. But
the thing is that I feel like that shows how much of an impact it had. You can see this. You were like, oh, this looks legit.
Yeah. And they like work in like the things that they wanted to see. They like that's what I liked about the fan. They like shit that they kind of wanted to change or hairstyle or something like that. They kind of little rendition. Like Kenshin is one that I'm big into samurai stuff. Like real. Like I got a real samurai. That's not a real one. I got a real one in my garage. Like a real actual. It's 1972 fucking katana and it's dull. Yeah. That motherfucker's sharp, bro. It's sharp. So I had to register it and everything.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you got to register it. And they got the little fucking lines in it. And it's like that's fucking cool. I wanted one from
for real.
Yeah, I wanted one from back in the day, but those are like fucking 8K. And if it's known to chop the head off, those are like millions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you got one that actually killed somebody, like that shit's up there, man. So those are in the museum for the most part. But Kenshin was when I got into it. But when I got into it, it was cool because I was able to fucking binge all of it. Up until right when I got done, the movie came out. So it was like the timing was perfect timing, dude. And the movie was fucking good. Like the movie was good, dude. Yeah, it was.
Were you watching it like in English or were you watching it in Japanese?
I can't stand dubs, man.
Well, it's because like I grew up, with the dubs.
Yeah.
So like, there's some shows it works. Like again, I'm gonna double back to Gundam again, just because of like, I feel like it's just the tone and like how. People interact with each other that it works, right? Because it's a little more grounded. But like stuff like I've seen like My Hero Academia, great in Japanese, but in English I can't do it, bro, because it's just
they changed the music.
But it's also like some of the shows they're very like their mannerisms are very Japanese. So it just doesn't work. In my opinion. But
like, hey Billy. It's like this shit. It's like some serious shit, man. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, but something a little more grounded, a little more serious. It can work in English. So some stuff like again Gundam, I can do both.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, I grew up with it in English, so
because that was on cartoon.
On it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Yeah.
So big old stuff like that. So. Again, it just kind of depends on the show itself, I think, but not always, but sometimes.
Yes, I did a GIF image a while ago. I made it. I actually made the. It was a Baki. Yeah, Baki. And like Baki and like all
Great
these.
Show.
Baki and then the other one, which is kind of like Baki but a different dude. I forgot the name of it. It was dude was like fighting and he had like some shit like that. It was almost the same. But he was like a little bit more like there was a little bit more ish sci-fi, like they had stuff in there like memory stuff, but Baki was good. But the for me, I started like for example with Drift Bob, I posted about that back in the day. Like there was no subs, so we watched everything with nothing. It was cars and we can kind of get the gist of it. And I think that kind of led me into like the point where like when I'll watch Raws before I watch dubs, man. Like I just it's me personally. It's just a personal thing. And even with subs, I had a Japanese. She's a teacher. Subs are all like they're around about.
I understand because definitely once you're like into it for a while, you can see that
right. And even being in Japan, you pick up some words like I know that word doesn't mean that. And so like in Live Hoon when he said when they were fucking talking about the nerd Game Boy and then the chick was like yeah dad but this and he's like Udusai. And that one word just means like fucking kind of like is annoying.
Yeah.
So they could have just put annoying, but they put out like for one word they like wrote out a whole sentence like hey, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a more of an interpretation.
Yeah. Because it'll if they really wrote out the fucking subs will start at the top and be like this and everything, and then the Japanese characters will be like two little characters mean fucking all this and everything. So but yeah man, so a lot of guys, that's why I learned I did pick up some words with it. I was like what do you mean I can't learn Japanese from anime? Is it because it's not verbatim?
It is not word for word.
Yeah,
so
it'll take fucking forever, man. But
I feel like it's very context heavy.
Yeah.
So like you can say the same word in a couple situations, and it can mean completely different things.
Yeah. How's your, like, speaking of that, man, how's your Japanese?
Oh,
man?
It's not very good at all.
It's
not
very good.
Yeah, working on military bases here, we're very spoiled.
Yeah.
So.
And then the Japanese they want to fucking learn English.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So like it's I know a couple things here and there. I couldn't strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
So I would love to get to that point. So we'll see how it goes.
Nah, man. I tell guys all the time with that is you have to know shit. Like for example, we brought up Josh. Like Josh, honestly, like you said, he's progressed because he got into it at the right point where for him, I mean, we don't hang out, but I know a little bit about him, and he had cash when he started. Like he had a good job and everything, so he didn't do the whole like broke boy thing and then like you work your way up. And that's nothing against it. I mean, he started later. He was able to bypass a lot of the bullshit, as far as like when you gotta buy shit clutches and this and this. So it seemed like he's been doing it for a while, but he's actually just started like with Alex
I was surprised
Smith.
when he told me that, but
Alex Smith, because I used to see him around and everything. But the thing is, like he had that time when he wasn't drifting, he was like learning Japanese and all that shit and all that. So like I think my wife, I'm like, dude, look, when I was doing my thing, I wasn't fucking in a book. Like he was literally doing like everybody who's good with Japanese, they all had to do the whole book and study and write all that shit down. Like it's not. You don't just do the Matrix download shit. I wish. I hope that's coming. I hope that's coming. Fucking Elion or whatever your name is. So that'll be. We was talking about that shit with the VR. Like we're gonna get to the point where like that VR shit. I was saying, man, that I want to get off topic, but that shit's the fucking bro. I'm talking about like it looks like this bottle is right here in front of you. Like you can literally, you want to flip switches in the cars. It's just that fucking. It's real, bro. So only step we need next is like some kind of fucking chip to get installed where the shit can like plug into your head. And then I was saying, that would be cool until they learn how to hack motherfuckers. And like, wish your social security number, you know what I mean? So, or like Sword Art Online, which is pretty cool where they get stuck in they get stuck there. And then you die. When you die, you die.
You die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
That's not how it was supposed to be. But
So,
that was definitely an interesting show, man.
So the I didn't see season 2 yet. I started it, but I just got busy. But
it was okay.
yeah. But yeah, man, shit like that is cool. Like we're in the future and things like that, and it's like, but it don't feel like, we're in the future because it's just like we're living it. But like 10 years ago, we didn't have this. But what I was saying about the whole language stuff before I go on a tangent was he was like, for example, I use Josh's example because we both know him. Let's say like he was in a drifting. Like at the same time he was learning Japanese, which one is more funner? Drifting. So it's like I'm not gonna sit there. I was fucking either working in Iraq or building shit. Yeah. So that time is like that's why I know the Japanese. I can get around and I know things and everything. And then you see the little shit good, and you're like, oh, you sugoi.
I know, right?
And he goes like, no,
like, oh, your Japanese is so good. I was like, no, man, I just know a couple words.
Yeah. So so yeah, man, it's like this just comes down to, so you look at the guys like, Alexi, and those guys who got a full grasp on it, even my partner by now in Japan, full grasp on it, but they were, Alexi's not he does the content stuff and he does but at the same time, and some people get pissed about it, I built all this up without speaking Japanese. So like I know tons of dudes here that speak Japanese that ain't doing shit. To be honest, not saying Lexi ain't doing shit, but if he has a grasp that he has on the Japanese, he could be doing a lot more because you can now get into meetings with Nissan. You can talk to Toyota. For me, when I bring my wife in, that automatically even though all the shit I've done and all accolades and all that shit like that, it brings me down because they look at like you're talking to me by a woman or a translator, and then it brings you like they just already assume that you're low level because if you're high level, you should be able to pay somebody to tutor you and all that shit, which is not the case. You know what I mean? Because I can do that, but it's just.
But I understand.
Yeah, my mind is I feel it with torque specs and procedures. I'm like, all right, yeah, all the Japanese, but come fucking do this. I start timing chain for me. First time around without fucking up and line up all the dots.
One of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. So it's like go and like put it in. It's like you got to count. You got to counterclockwise. That I just know you turn it back one dot. You put it in, it turns and it lines up. There's just shit like that we take for granted because we fucking done it a bunch of times. I've been to the point where I've held a chiming chain with my teeth because I work alone. So I pull that shit through and I'm holding with my teeth, tension in it, pull the shit down, and then fucking and it starts right up and everything. And it's like not the best way to do, not the best thing to do, but
but I get it. Yeah, I know this.
Yeah. I hate that their front cover is one of the I don't like that.
I love SRs, but that's definitely the
like
thing I don't
why bro? Why did you design it like that? Like man, that's not. And that's why we'll give Subaru, even though they got their shit, for the side, the front. Like I enjoy the Subaru timing. It is really not. Once you get it, it's a lot of fucking cogs and shit. But when you got the couple tools and then like the water pump, it comes off. It is one little fucking O-ring. You put a little bit of RTV. And you put it on, like for the oil pump. Mm-hmm. It just comes off. RB, love them, but it has the fucking pressure sensor, which you have to loosen the bolts and fucking go like this. And you got to get that around the fucking crank without fucking it up. And then when you put it back on, I've done it before, but I was like, dude, if we don't oil pumps, I'm doing a fucking bottom end because I'm not fucking going through that to stretch your oil pan. I did it before I opened my shop. I did it to a guy.
Yeah, no, yeah. I on that Laurel, I actually put a new oil pump in it, but I had it out.
Yeah,
so
you pull the shit off and you can look. You know what I'm talking about, that bump right there on the left side. Yeah. So I've done it on an RB26 at Mobile. I blew the pump. Mm-hmm. So I took the whole fucking bottom. I pretty much relaxed the whole suspension, suspended the engine with the engine hoist, and then like took all the bolts. I had to take all the bolts off towards the back, and I got it. I mean, I felt like I was about to break the fucking oil pan, but I didn't want to go in the back because you got to drop the trains to get those back bolts. So I literally loosened all the bolts all the way to like the back where it pretty much came and loose. Then I just like fucking stuck RTV in there. Changed the oil pump. Met Kent's on at Teps, which is a awesome shop. Right here, Top Secret is here. Teps is here. Mm-hmm. Teps, he does cooler shit. Believe it or not, like it's just one of those shops, man.
I get it.
Yeah, it's just one. This is my thing. I'm a shop owner, but they have that allure and all that stuff, and it's a different level of clientele. Let's just say that. But Tenson does the same shit. It's just his shop is just half the size, and it's kind of like dirty and shit. But like but it's just my if I don't go to any shops, I don't go to any shops. But
I know what you mean. But I wouldn't in that situation. It's difficult.
Yeah. Well, with that, it comes down to like people I've had guys like, hey man, I was going to go to Top Secret, but I hit you up and like, well, it's not going to be too much cheaper. What you want to do, you'll wait 3 months versus 10 months to get on there. But when it comes down to that, that's a level like that. They don't do anything there that's like ground. I mean, they've done some swaps. That's what I do. They've done some ground. They haven't done anything that's in Japan is groundbreaking because Japanese it works for them because they're so fucking like in line. They don't even think about putting a 2J into a S13 until now. To like 3 years ago, that's become like a thing. And then they figure out that
because like I mean I've seen it like with a lot of comp cars. They've always done.
That's a recent thing, man. Like they really stayed towards SRs, and Kazuya Bai is one of the ones running the V. He just sticks to the SRV, but that's the VSR different beast. You're not comparing that to a regular SR and everything. But the even when guys see Naoki in a 2J or a V8. And those guys don't post like we do on forums. They don't have forums. We can go back to fucking Sylvia and see shit from way back when. Yeah. They really they do it and then they know it and then they don't really do the form stuff. So they don't have a database really to go back. They got that little car whatever site, but people don't know how many fucking SRs for example, Nakamura blew up. Oh yeah. They don't really talk about it. They don't post about it. They just all right, next. This
was back when there were, $500 a pop.
Yeah. So that now the 2J and stuff like that. So yeah, I remember I was pissed at Dory10 one time because I had all these swaps. I had 2J, I had a JZ, RB, all this shit, and they put it out like they were the ones that pioneered like America, Australia. We the ones that do that shit, man. Like we know that power to weight is a thing, and all the swaps, man. So like that's the Japanese. I can do something for 10 years, and I've done it. I can do something for 10 years. Daigo does it now. All of a sudden, it's because they really they won't say it, but they really put it on like the stock of the person. And
I can understand that for sure.
That's their thing, man. So I got over it. Whatever. I know what I've done, and my stuff's out there. You can go back on there 10, 15 years ago, and I've been doing that shit. But it's just like that's why I don't deal with Dory 10 anymore because they more like to make. That's why all those shits out there for sale. So I'm just trying to get rid of them. But they more like to make a mockery of Gaijin versus like showing that we're equals. and they just can't fathom that a fucking American dude from Baltimore is fucking in their country running a business and successful. Mm-hmm. I mean, staying open is success enough, and I mean, you obviously know it's not cheap to run, but they'll smile on your face and everything. But I learned, I Doty 10. I was so excited to get into the magazine at one point, and I got told by a guy who was here a long time. He was like, dude, don't make sure your shit's correct because they're gonna print that as that car condition was like that was your best. And it happened to me a few times, man, where they flipped the script on me when I did the thing with my snorri. They had the S14 that I just got from Raman at Buy Now. Didn't even drive the car. And he was like, I was like, the plan was to drive Yamazaki's S15, and I wasn't even gonna drive. I just wanted Masanori to do his thing. Yeah. And then they decided to make a fucking versus. Masanori and Yamazaki's S15 and me and the S14 that I just got with the NESR that I haven't even driven yet. And then they put they called me a street drifter in a fucking magazine. And so all people reading this shit, man, and then I go to Mobara and then they see me and dudes are pointing and laughing and shit and this, and I go on the track and fucking murder it first lap out. I do a warm-up lap and then I fucking murder their track. Never drove before I come back, and they crowd the car. And they're like, oh, we thought you was like Tanashi Drift or this. And like that's what they wrote, dude. Yeah. Then I got like all these fucking friends, and that's when I met Ken's son too, and everything, man. So I kind of, and I actually now I used to hate that shit. Now I love it. I love going to track, and they know me because I'm a black dude with a fucking mohawk. And then they didn't really see the footage from Mobara or Maze. And then I just go out there, do a warm up lap. And I fucking drive it. Show out, man. Because you know how you gotta prove yourself, man. I hate that. I love it. I love it. Like, yeah, I know what you mean, but like, you know what I mean. Yeah, so. Yeah. It's funny that you have your crew, MSP, or whatever, BSU. You go to another track, and it's like you got to do that whole process over. So for me, a lot of guys, I see them, they pull out their phone and start showing shit from there and everything. I used to do that, and now it's like what I have here, and in Japanese. When you bring one of your JZXs, they like, oh, that's it. You're like, no, I got fucking 15 cars on, bro. Yeah. And I know that's something that probably annoyed you before. Well, probably. I'll say probably. Yeah,
it's just the people who know me, like, know that. But like, when people meet me for the first time, they're like, oh, I didn't take you for like an S chassis guy or something. I was like, that's my first car, Yeah. Or they meet me in the Evo or some other stuff, and they're just like, "Oh, I know, I'm actually well versed." Like,
like me dropping the 7 today. I got that, and I got it's just cool to be. I think it's cool. I think we have and we're in a fortunate position to be able to, because most people, not knocking it, but most people can only drive one car, and that's why I tell me, do you do this when somebody posts up a post? And they say, man, like post the best picture of your car, and you're like, I could be a dick and like just post all of them,
I know, or just right?
or just I don't participate.
I'm just like, oh, which one?
Yeah, Then you write like, I got a lot of cars, man. So, but this is this one. I was like, that's some clown. I used to do it, and then I was like, nah. So when people do that I don't know on forums anymore, but the groups, you go into the JZX group or whatever. And I left a lot of those groups I didn't want to be bothered by people, but when you
I know what you mean. Yeah, that one,
you help somebody out, and you're like,
JZX guys. They're not what they used to be.
I showed the guy how to do the bushings without dropping the diff. I'm like, you don't have to. He's like, oh, my buddy said you got to do it, and you got to bang them out from the back. I'm like, no, that's a way to you crease the fucking bushing, the sleeve, and you knock it out. I've done those welding bushings with the diff in. You don't take anything out. Only thing you gotta do is fucking disconnect your battery in ECU to make sure it doesn't go arc through the ECU. That's what you're supposed to do and everything, because it'll go through your fucking circuit boards and then go back to the diff. But man, I've done a bunch of those, and I used to like drop in and say shit, and then my fucking box will blow up because they want to figure out how to do it and everything. So what I'll do is for that YouTube shit, I'll make a paid thing. So you want to see, you got to pay like $1 or some shit a month, not a ton of money. Yeah. But I'm not gonna give away. I mean, honestly, the free shit's out there already. Yeah. And everything. Man.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but yeah. So I was so on that question, man. So like having a bunch of cars, man, and everything, and it's hard. I mean, it's like, hard. It's hard. It's like
it's like and I'm just like, oh shit. It's like I got all this stuff I gotta do, and I'm just like.
Like these fucking peasants got like one car and everything. No. Okay.
I mean, I know what you mean, but like, I was, when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, I want all this stuff, and now look at me, so like I'm actually doing it, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. But like, and after a while, it's just like, oh man, I gotta unload. So that's why like Jared's current car that he's building is, me and him came into agreement, but I just pushed it off on him just because I was like, okay, I need to, I was gonna build that car originally for myself. Yeah. But then I was just like, you know what? He needs a better car, and I need a car gone. So please take it.
Yeah, pay me later. And then to be sliding like that is the JZX, man. They're not cheap. So it's
not
like
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
that was like the best thing about them.
Yeah, when you see like the dudes, there was a guy at the ice event we went to, and he was like full bore drifting at 34, and it's certain things you don't see a Hachiroku unless it's a Hachiroku event. You don't really see a Hachiroku mingling with 500 horsepower cars because they're so much faster, and then also that faster means there's so much more momentum to slam into your shit in that little tin can you're in, and bend in half. So it's like you don't really you're starting to see a decline of certain cars, and then like now you're seeing like the RX-6 come out, the Z's, the G35s, the shit that's they're kind of more, even the FT80, the
GT86. Yeah, I would really love to get into one of those.
I want one. I never even driven one before. Yeah.
But I definitely would love to get into it's.
I want one.
It's getting we're coming into that era where it's just like, all right, well, like now it's time to move on because these things, as much as I love drifting them, they're just too expensive.
Yeah, nobody's gonna drift the S30Z. It's like, why?
I would love to, but man, like if I put one together, I'm just gonna be like, damn, I got so much into this that like,
there'll be a little couple fuck around donuts.
But within like. You'll go like maybe 80% like the hardest, right? Yeah. But like you won't go 100% like you would with like a beater Z.
Yeah,
like
you're not gonna take the Z up to North Course.
No, but like my Z33, right? Like I don't care about that thing.
Yeah, it's already been. You did a good job bringing it back to.
Yeah, as best as I could, but center. Like I'm just gonna go have fun with it. That's its purpose. So, but back in the day, like. These things right here, we're just like, oh yeah, whatever. We smash it. We'll go get another one for. That was
outside under the snow. That's coming. I'm gonna read because this car is this one is the one that really cut my teeth. Obviously, like this is this was the second. This is when Matsune first got on Team Orange, and they were really like Team Orange popping, and so I was able to drive. I was able to drive in that event and everything, and that engine is downstairs. I did 8 seasons on it, beating the fuck out of it, and. Yeah, man, it's still down there. I'm just gonna put bearings in it. But I'm gonna go. I've done RB. I'm actually gonna throw a LS in this one. Okay. I've already done. I've done 10 years of RB in it. So let's bring it back.
Actually, yeah, because I've been watching a lot of. Because I also growing up, I used to watch a lot of like Power Block and all that stuff.
Yeah.
With Mr. Elmore and all them other cats.
Yeah.
And I started watching that stuff again, and I'm just like, man, I forgot like how simple it is.
Yeah, bro.
To do all this stuff, I'm like man, I'm just like forget all these other cars, man. I'm just gonna go back and build myself a good old V8. You know,
man. This summer's gonna be a. This, I mean, you came. You said you were in the shop. I got the one UZ. I got 2. Well, actually, unfortunately, the JZX 110 is going to be aborted. Stuff changes. I want to take it back down, but I got that honestly frees up time for other stuff, and I got some cool stuff going, which I'll get off after we get done with this. Jared already knows about it, but I'll definitely be some cool stuff that's going to happen. That's on the way. It'll be here in like 30 days. So but yeah, man, I'm gonna revamp that one. So it's going to be S14. I'm gonna put it up for a good price. If it sells, cool. If it doesn't sell, great. I don't want to sell it.
Oh, the
one that's the Kenji Yamanaka. Yeah. I don't want to sell it, but I'm not invested into it, and the money definitely will be redistributed properly I can make much more money. So that's for me, man. If I could have not sold any of my cars, that would have been ideal. Like I do not enjoy selling my shit.
Yeah,
and
I understand
to the point where when it goes away, I don't even when it drives. And it's been multiple times that bitch goes out. I just go back to the shop. I don't look at it. I don't take pictures, video. Like I don't want to even
delete everything. Yeah, this is like a bad breakup.
It's still up there. Then I got the Mark 32 back. I got my S2000. I sold that 2000. Got that back. 2 purple cars I got back in the same month, minus a couple parts, and then the 32. I'm actually honestly about to flip. I'm about to sell it again. because the cash is I can utilize it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like my 15 sells, it sells.
Yeah. But and I think it's not it's some shit I put at a price. I'm like, nope, gotta bump it up. One of the Civics, for example, I didn't want to sell those, but it's just like I can get another one. The DR30s actually are not expensive. Luckily, I'm glad they're staying where they at. So around 6-7K, I can get one better than mine.
Okay, that's good.
So I did a lot of shit to that one. SR20 coil packs, SR20. I put SR20 crankcast into the distributor, deleted it. All Australia shit. So they do wild shit with FJs.
Yeah, man, a lot of innovations definitely coming from there in the US. I love that stuff.
Japanese, they get mad when I say, like, bro, Australia, America, New Zealand, UK are doing much more what you guys just shit than you're doing with.
Yeah, man, like, cause I don't know if you know Milky Diamonds.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So he's coming back and forth between
I met him a while ago.
Yeah, he's super fucking awesome, dude. I love him. But he goes to New Zealand, and I just see like all the shops he goes to, and these cars are just like unbelievable to look at. I'm just like, wow, like they're well put together. Like all the parts are just it looks like just like a rolling art piece at this point.
I'm gonna show actually one. I'm gonna have this guy on. He's it was another like Brad Sheriff. His 32 got banned from So this 32 was a let me see. Yeah, this 32 was it got banned from fucking Bathurst. And this is the first 32 to get banned since the back in the day.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
R32 getting banned from
so it's like
okay.
I hit him up. He's gonna be on a podcast. Just talk about the car. So the thing about this car, I'm not sure if this is the one that shows. So this thing started as a regular ass GTST, man. Regular ass GTST, and over the years he's just added on. Haltex got better, blah blah blah, and to the point where this motherfucker, dude, like he unfortunately crashed a car, but he was out a lot.
Ooh, look at that two-wheeler.
He was out a lot. This is 1,000 horsepower and that light ass chassis, man. Rear wheel drive.
Oh, rear wheel drive.
Rear wheel drive. Yeah, so it's a GTST. Yeah, so he just so I hit him up. He was very responsive and everything. I'll get him on the podcast and see. You can see it's a handful, man. And,
it looks like it, yeah.
Yeah. So it was built by a garage. So I'll talk. It was a garage car race something. But anyway, man, like this. I was like, dude, like they told him he has to detune it. He was like, I'll rather fucking leave it on a mantle than undo the work and money I put into it. So I'm gonna tell him, hey man, bring that shit over here. Like I can help you do everything. Like you need to bring it over here. Let fucking, if you're not comfortable with it on Tsukuba, let fucking Tarzan or somebody who. Those dudes that just get in the cars and get the most out of it.
Yeah, and man, there's something about driving your own car, man.
No, he actually hired yeah. So that's when it was normal. The little baby wing and shit on it. Yeah. But he actually has guys drive it.
Oh, okay.
So he drives.
In that case, then I think he'll be fine.
But dude, like from that first picture to this one, like the big fucking 385s or whatever the fuck is on there, and but then again, it's like very simple.
Oh, like the Group A style exhaust.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I'm like, bro.
Triple pipe. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, bro. Cool. I was like, bro, that has to be an honor to be the first 32 since the back in the day group shit to get banned at the same fucking track though for the same reasons because it was winning too much and everything. So yeah, man, we're talking back and forth, right? You know, see, dude, tell me if this is your thing, man. Australian dudes, they're pretty much like Americans, just a little bit wilder.
Well, I guess so.
But they're just easy to talk to, dude.
Yeah, like I've done a port visit there, and actually another funny one. So this was back when I was at Tsugi, and I was in Tatsumi, PA one day, and this guy, Australian guy, he comes up to me, but I thought he looked Japanese to me, and I was like excited. He's like, "Oh, hey, that's a nice chase you got there, mate," and I was like, flabbergasted. But long story short, we became friends. And I went to Australia, to Brisbane, which is actually where they live. So, like, I got to experience a little bit of that because I wasn't doing the typical sailor thing, you know, going around drinking in bars and stuff. And
getting STDs.
Yeah. And I got to experience, you know, just Australia as one of the boys over there. And that was so much fun. And it's just like, we're not so different, yeah.
Yeah, we're not. And the thing is, like, it's one thing it's like when I hit him up, like he was right away. He was like I wrote all English, right? He was like, hey, now I think he was joking. He was like, hey man, my Japanese is not as good, but yeah, I'll be on a podcast. And I'm like, bro, I just wrote perfect English and all, but he assumed. Obviously, he didn't know about me. I didn't know about him until we were on a podcast. My buddy brought up the 32, and then that's when I seen his name. So I was like, yeah, I just learned about you, about the banning and all that stuff. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I don't speak. He said I don't speak Japanese, but like, I'll try. Then I was like, dude, I'm American. And he's like, oh yeah, I can speak American, mate. And like, so like, this fucking guy's cool already. Yeah. It's like American, like they'll say some shit, and they'll either say nothing or they'll dismiss it. He's like, I can speak American, man.
I remember when I was over there, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, we love your accent. And I was like, oh, that's how it feels. Yeah. Oh, man.
Because I replied back to him. Yeah. I was like, I got a lot of Australian buddies, and they call me a sick cunt. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. So he knows that I know some stuff. And he replied, and it was like, we went back, like, within, like, 5 minutes, not even 5, the first 3 Wichicons, I was like, this fucking dude's cool. I don't know him, but he's cool,
that's the best kind. Yeah. That's the best kind of interactions, man, I think. Oh man!
But I want to talk because this is 2010, and I really respect because again, this car I've had this since 2000. I wrecked my first 33 within the first year at MSP, and then I got this one. This was HR33, and I swapped everything over. I was back at MSP like in a week, and so that's why that car is actually crumpled up the shit, but the body's good. So I'm just gonna revive it and everything. And I got paperwork to you, so this one is probably gonna go to America. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna send it over to there that way, because I'm gonna do the whole pro-am, everything. I'm not fucking getting in petitions. I'm not doing that. I don't want to. That's not, because when you do a petition and you don't do well, people are always talking shit, and then when you do a petition and you do well, then it's just like well, you did it because of this XYZ. Yeah. So I want to do it because honestly, my personal opinion on it is like you got to get acclimated to that. For example, bank drifting, I'm very confident in my skills, but I never drifted a bank. I'm pretty sure I can learn it. But first time I was on a bank, I did a bank my first drift event, but I didn't even attempt. I just drove it, and then I got in the car with a dude, and it was just like the G forces. Yeah, it's nuts. It's weird. It was fucking weird, bro. Like he was like, dude, you cannot let off. If you let off, you go like this into the fucking thing.
Yeah. So I remember so I live in Orlando, so like I'm at OSW, and I've tried the bank before. I'm still not comfortable with it.
How much power?
Supposedly about.
You see Hachiroku dudes hitting. It's like you got no excuse. They be fucking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but it's not even a power thing. Yeah, it's just like just because every time I do it, because I'm not comfortable with it, so I wasn't sure how to approach it. But as soon as you let off, the car just wants to.
Wash up or down depending on where the.
Yeah. So it's definitely an acquired. I think it's an acquired skill for sure.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I'm not going over there and entering the event, and I want to go over there and train and do that. So I'm gonna send it over to my guy Alan at Bridgemoto. It's gonna be there.
And, I remember you talking about you gotta leave a car over there.
So. Yeah, it was this good, technically good this summer was supposed to be. I was gonna do it was just. That's again, man. Going back to going to the D1 events, just showing face and showing people I got a D1E card, which anybody can fucking get. I was fixated on back in that time, man, just kind of trying to build the stuff, and then I was like, man, fuck this. I'm gonna do it how I'm gonna do it, and it'll eventually come. And it did. It's time. It's 15 years I've been here now. Yeah, so time passes, and you naturally get it, because I was military. Doing all the military shit, PT, blah, blah, blah. 3 times in Iraq. I was in Iraq for literally 3 years. And, the money was cool. I mean, all the money went into that and everything else. But it's like, I'm not going to sit here and compare myself to a dude that, for example, Masanori, he has his own trials and tribulation working at the track, doing the stuff he got to do there. Because people don't understand all the stuff he has to do. You know what I mean? Or get to that point.
Yeah. Running a shop, running a track, it's
it's a lot of stuff work, in there. Man. And then he'll be I was like, how the fuck is this cat? Like when I would bring up my 32 and I did a single turbo, made 500 horsepower. This was like 550 on base gas. So I got a cool thing coming up for that too. But he would come up and he goes, oh, Sugoi. I'm like, why the fuck is he saying Sugoi? Like, is he just doing it to make me feel good? But no, it's like he doesn't know. He doesn't. I mean, he got his own shit now with all the wins. Yeah. But he didn't even with content, like they didn't have to work for, they trained and everything. So to them, they like, how does it work to get money to get that and everything in a dad. So my son's unfortunately gonna be the same way. They're gonna have cars already. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. As long as they understand that it's not gonna be you're gonna work for it. It's gonna be fucking taken away when you act up and everything. So now the dirt bikes, I don't even have to fucking like. I mean, I grew up, I got spanked and hit and shit. Yeah. But I don't even have to do it. I was like, hey, you're not fucking iPhone, give it to me. I don't cuss at him, but it's like, give me the iPhone. You're not riding dirt bikes this weekend. You fucking fall on the floor, start crying like. I don't gotta do shit.
Hey man, yeah, you gotta earn it, man.
So
still gotta earn it.
So what do I mean? Do you have any kids or?
No kids. So, but I mean, I've all my brother and like all my cousins and stuff. Like, I was right there alongside with them. So, I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So so far as the you said Dominican is your background.
Yeah.
So like your how old is the because I talked to a lot of my white guys and this time. So do you guys do like family reunions or family gatherings or how's that?
Oh yeah, like me and my family we're so like knit with each other. So
immediate or just
extended? Mostly immediate. So like my mother, my uncle and my aunt. So like we all at one point we all lived on the same street. So right now, since my brother left and I left, my mom just moved in with my uncle because at the time we were in a house, but now that both of us were gone, she didn't need that no more. My aunt just moved to a different neighborhood. But yeah, so like every time I get to go for like Christmas or something, we're always together. Like last Christmas, I wasn't really worried about like trying to go drift or something. I was just trying to spend all the time I can with them, and
right.
They're all very important to me, and yeah, that's just how we grew up. That's why like people that know me here, I treat everybody like they're part of my family.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, man, I'll tell you because you say I'm very. Family. People don't figure it out. I'm very, very blunt to the point. No bullshit and everything. And some people appreciate it. Some customers don't realize until it's too late that I was trying to save them from themselves. And
I've noticed that too. And you just gotta let them. Let them run their course. Yeah.
I was like, you don't want to do it my way, not doing it. Like there's a couple guys. When I gotta bring up names, there's a couple guys that. When I met you initially, there was a couple guys around you that I just didn't like, dude. Like this, it was a.
I understand.
Yeah, it was arrogance and things like that. And it's like, dude, like you don't know more than me. Like, don't want to play this game. And so when we initially met, I was like, man, I could tell you were cool. When we did the you bought stuff by Yahoo. You follow the protocol. I was like, for general chatter, and I even like that. Don't even check anymore. I was like, hey man, just email me. So because email, people don't realize it's not like it's when I talk to companies, it's just you can't just hit up fucking. Well, I saw Elon Musk is a little bit different guy, but you're not gonna hit him up on Twitter and be like, hey man, what's up my order? You're gonna get on Tesla, go to the website, talk to a rep and everything. And I am a single businessman, but and a lot of single businesses out there, man, you run your shit so loose that you fuck up people's mind concept of what it is to run a business and how you should deal with it. And I like, no, it's gonna be appointments, email. So some guys, it's literally dudes on base that will not come to my shop, man, because they wanted to control shit. And this is officers. I was like, I don't give a fuck that you're old, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And I told him, when I told him to his face,
come on, man, this is the real world.
Bro, he's sitting right there at my desk, and I'm like, yeah, I run the show, dude. And I could just feel his fucking power leaving his body and shit. And I'm like,
that's the
and
best.
then I take I just printed out. I'm going to tape it to the register. My DD214. It's just like
that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah. Like, you can't
as soon as you come in the fucking office, like, yeah, it's right there. It's right. It's blown up. It's right there on the thing. Redact my shit out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see I'm out. Like my reserve shit. I'm done with that. It was 2014. I was done with my reserves.
Yeah.
But the man, it was like I had the particular guy I had a feeling that something was. Then I go to the Navy Federal, and you're fucking me, even though because I told him straight up, I'm not working on your car here. Nice car, but the dude was. I looked on the thing. I was a Navy Federal. I looked up, and he's one of the dudes on the picture frames, like one of the. So I was like, that's why that dude is fucking weird like that, man. And like he was used to running like a squadron, and telling, hey Timmy, you do this, like this is my shit. So long story short. I run appointments, scheduling, all that stuff. And people, how do you do this by yourself? I do because I have order. I don't allow, and a few times I did to get some money, and it always fucking hits me in the ass, man. It always backfires because I went against my rules.
Yeah, that's where the discipline comes.
That's all. Yeah, and that's where that was the first two years. I had like kind of all my trials and tribulations, and all my rules were formed in the first 7 months. Because the first 3 months it was all like handshake and yeah, I'll be there. And then after I had about 3 or 4 like no shows, I was like reservation, man. And then nobody fucking even. I've never had one customer be like, nah, man, I'm not paying. I've had a few customers say, hey, man, when you got some openings, like, no, I'm not. I don't work that way, dude. So, like, for example, the whole GMG shit and all that stuff, man, is all because, and as much as T-Pain, he's been like I messaged him a couple of times and everything, but he, I understand guys like that are guarded and they got to be selective on who they talk to. Yeah. We'll eventually cross paths. He'll eventually hear about me if he hasn't already. Cool, whatever. But that comes down to those dudes trying to fucking come up off of him, and then they just do things and do stuff. They do things out of order. So that GMG guy might have been a cool company. I don't know. It sounds like he was doing this type of shit for a while. But he might have been a cool company, but he started like, oh, I got T-Pain. Then he used his car in that fucking TV show, which I knew. I was like, he crashed his shit. So it's like, you took somebody's shit. That's like me taking when that's fucking Super out there with T88 and then taking it to Zakuba because I know I can do under a minute. Or the GTR is like, if he didn't, the 32 guy told me I can do it. He said, please do it. The other guy, so I have his permission to load his car up, go to Zakuba and see what his fucking two-way diffs in the front and rear and his Hollinger transmission and all this shit that he's not going to utilize. He wants to see what it can do. Okay. I have his blessing to do that. But he told me that. I didn't fucking, so long story short, man, a lot of these single businesses out there are really fucking it up for guys like me who just want to get money, get paid, fix the car and be done. And all these guys are, oh, can we do this now? Can we do that? Like, no, dude, you were slided for a Z to get all this shit done.
Yeah, just make another
work order.
Yeah.
Because
I've dealt with people like that, and like I know they mean well and all that stuff, but it's just like, hey, dude, you can't snowball this stuff on me, man.
Since you're there,
because then there's that phrase. Yeah, might as well.
You might as well. Yeah. That's my heater.
Oh, okay. It's out of juice, I guess. Yeah. But and then it just snowballs. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, we got to come back to that another time.
Yeah, and you're doing it as a side deal, and you still can see that. You can still see that if you allow it, they'll go that way. So I tell guys what I do, and what I'll do is when I got a car for a significant amount of money. I mean, what I do jobs. The profession part of it, of running a shop, is that you're going to go there to change a clutch. Why would you not change the rear main seal? Even if it's been changed before, I'm still going to change that shit because it's $5.
Yeah, it's $5. And it's a lot of pain to remove all of that just to change the seal out.
And then like if it does leak, then a year down the line, hey man, I remember you were there. Did you like hit the rear mirror? Like there's physically nowhere possible for me to take the flywheel and smash it into, like it goes this way. Yeah, you know what I mean. But just because it's like, it's you should know, and that's why again I had a guy. I got the engine now. I got the Vortec LS because he wanted me to put it in the Jeep. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. I can look it up, but that's not my wheelhouse. That's not. I don't know all the nuances. Yeah. If you want to do it,
it's a learning experience.
Yeah. I mean, you can learn it, but it's just like I'm busy enough with what I got going on. I know what I got to do for a JZX 100 manual swap. I know what I got to do for a RB26-15 swap. All this other shit I do. I know that, and I mean, I don't have to research. I know I fucking can wake up with a flu, and I still know the procedures to do the camshafts on the 2J versus the RB. There, even though you think it should go like this, 2J is totally different. So if you do a fucking 2J camshaft like RB, you're gonna snap it. It's just little shit like that that I know, and that's why I don't do Delicas, and unless you want to put LS in it or some shit, then we can turn it into that kind of party. But I'm not going to work on, I have pretty much a Legacy B4 is like my, that's like it's not really a sports car, but it's like, it got turbos and shit on it.
That car.
Yeah. Fucking rust bucket, man. Subaru fucking owners, man. You guys are there, man. You never fucking talk about how rusty your shit is. Or how fucking, the spark plugs, I know the system to do them now, but why? They got a lot of shit on the Subaru that is like, it's cool. Like, it's like they got everything for the Cusco bolt on. Like, you can bolt everything on and it's already there. It's already like cut out for it. it's like cool, man. But you could have just fucking put 2 holes in your fucking in a frame rail to go straight into the fucking spark plug alley, and you know what I mean. Just you know what I mean. That's what I did to mine. I circle drilled 2 holes. Now I just
But it's that's
fucking valve covers and shit, man. But it's man. But that's the cool thing about it. You actually know what I'm talking about before I even talk about it.
Yeah, like I've been around. Like I'm not an expert.
No, but you've seen it, man.
But I've seen it. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, I know about this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Honestly, man. Like, again, not tooting your horn, man, but like I vibe more with guys like yourself because I know that you didn't only have a GTR, because those guys are fucking annoying. Subaru only people. Sorry, John, but Subaru only people are fucking annoying, man. Because like they will bypass everything you said about a JZX or fucking SW20, whatever the fuck. As soon as you mentioned Sub, and they just started fucking. Yeah, man. Yeah, they
light up and stuff. Oh my god. Yeah, I love Subaru.
Yeah, dude. They just fucking like, in the version 6. I'm like, I don't fucking know the version 6 and the version 5 and
like GC8s, man. There's so many different like. Bro,
and
I hate dealing with GC8s, man.
GC8 is the most misordered I've had, to the point where I'm very fucking like, one thing, and now I do when I do this Subarus, they got a stamp on the block, and now I charged the seat. I got to take the intercooler off, wire brush it. I posted about it.
Yeah.
The stamp on the block.
Damn, even that too, man.
Yeah, bro. They won't order it no more without the number, because the difference between a GC8 between the first one to like the last GC8s, there was a cam profile differences. The gasket goes like this. Like that, and the other one goes like
man, why? Yeah, it's the same generation car, and they're like the most different cars I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, man. the variable and all that shit and everything and blah blah blah, and the difference between a regular GD8 and GDB, and then a GDB V Spec limited.
God forbid you have one that's mixed matched, man.
Yeah. So what car was it that I had? I worked on you remember Chicken, dude, the Mary, not Natsumi.
Yeah. Yes.
So she had her GCA had a different diff in it. So I ordered like the shit that was on a fucking Witchcom, and as soon as I got to get there, the shit won't fit. So I'm like, we got to go on Witchcom and find the actual axles, because she had STI and some other stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that was a pain in the dick, man, because she broke her axle and some other stuff, and I was like, dude, these cars are, and then the rust in the rear, bro.
Yeah, the recorders.
I had to cut holes. I had to cut the bolts out, cut a slot in the fucking frame, weld new bolts in there. I'm like, this turned from a day and a half job to a
couple week job.
And I had to try. I'm like, dude, I'm not. This is I didn't break it. It just actually what happened. It starts spinning, so the spot weld inside broke loose. So the bolt was just spinning.
That's a pain.
Yeah, so it's like in Subaru owners never they always talk about the fucking. The whatever the fuck, and they can go to Cusco and get their whole catalog, but they never talk about how rusty those fucking things are. Yeah,
it's just like the Evo. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. My Evo is pretty toast, right?
How's the diff area? The rear diff?
It's probably gonna fall off.
Yeah, but, it clunks when you shift.
A little bit, but it's not. It's still holding together. But thankfully, I have a buddy of mine that has a shell that hopefully I'm gonna be getting from him soon. So and it's clean. But like what I like to say about cars like that is they're here for a good time, but not a long time.
Yeah, my wife right there bugging. But that's what I was like. I said I knew I was like we won't end soon, man. But it's 11:30, and I was like 10. This is good, man, because it always it won't end soon, man. But yeah, man, that's my thing. And I was telling that, and that's people. You don't go to Cars and Coffee. I'm like, bro. That sorry, let me turn this shit off, man. Don't be rude, but
no worries.
Let me see right here.
Yeah, Cars and Coffee, it's cool, but like some people make it like their whole thing, but it's like like okay, cool. I'll be there for like an hour and then maybe I'll leave. If I ran a dress up shop, which I actually don't even unless we're doing like I'm talking about we're doing real fucking aero, and I'm gonna go to the track because I got a wind tunnel. I'm gonna go to the track and adjust your canards and really tune it for you. I can do that. I have the knowledge to do that. But the just fitting kits, I'm like, nah, dude. That one thing to me, fitting a body kit is something like, to me, honestly, if it's something like changing an oil, where like that's your car. If you don't want to pay the money, it's really going to charge to really fit that shit. And also levels. If it's a fucking T-Magic or a fucking Spoon or,
that takes tuning to get the canards right and all that stuff, and the under and the stuff you got to do in the metal you got to modify to actually make that work. Nobody's ever asked me to do it. I can do it, but it's just they're not. It's the different
with like a lot of the clientele that you deal with, like
which is actually
they're just not here long enough to really
and
unless they're like already doing that before they came, and I understand that it's just how it works.
Well, what I was getting at too is the cars. That's why I go Cars of Coffee, because I was saying the kind of golf and thing. The dress up shop. I've had guys hit me up like, "Hey man, I want to do this. I want to do that." Like, dude, you're gonna literally wait, because I'm not gonna bump. I mean, there's a chance you might get in, but you're literally gonna wait 4 to 5 weeks for me to put a steering wheel on. Like, I just tell them like, dude, like there's other guys in town. I don't say names because I don't want to. I don't say, people think I'm being a dick or say, there's another shop. Like, no, because I'm not friends with them. So if I recommend that shop and they fuck you over, it's like, it's me.
I get that.
So only other guy in town that I would say is James Gilson. That's it. That's the only other guy. Like, if I was, and we work together a bunch. Like, I mean, I'm good at welding, but he's fucking exceptional.
He's
like, if it's something like
beautiful.
If it's something like really like dialed in, I go to him all the time. Like, I mean, it's happened many times where I didn't want it one shot and fucking done. I didn't want to fuck it up and burn it through and everything. So it's been a few times, man, and he
worth spending the money for sure.
And we know, and it's like, and I don't even like say, I did, like, I always say James did that, because I don't. That's even a characteristic flaw that some guys have. Like, I did it. Like, you didn't fucking do that. So the shit I did is cool, but that getting that blow off valve flange in there without fucking up and going into the thing, I was like, I couldn't. I tried it. I got it tacked on there, but I was like, hey James, man, 2 or 3 days, cool, man. I'm on your time. But but what I was saying about Cars and Coffee, man, it was I don't go there because that's not my clientele. I don't do that stuff. And they're dress up guys. Like, there's some guys that got some okay cars, but and if you count on your hand, there's like maybe 4 or 5 track guys there. Oh,
like, you know that. I don't know if you know that silver Hako with the 26 in it.
Yeah, I know him very well.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Does he actually track that thing? Or?
No, he don't track it. He does. It's Fujio son. He does like he's dude. He does. I've seen that car. Like, he just edge and edge and edge and edge and edge.
Yeah, the thing's nuts though, man. Like, I'm like, bro, that thing must be a weapon. But
it could be. Know. No, he don't. And it's done by Clipping Point. Like, he went to high school with him. So actually, SSI did the swap for him, and then we met. And then he seen all the shit I did, and he was like, he asked me, well, how about Ecuador if you do that? I'm like, I was saying, like, for everything to make the stuff and everything, I was like, roughly, I would use a wiring specialty harness because it's saving money, even though I can wire it up. I was like roughly 10, 12, like roughly 1-on-1, and he was like, he just fucking looked at me like, dude, they charged me like 3 times that. Damn. Because Japanese,
that's another thing here,
they run it the fuck up, dude. I'm like, dude, time is the time, bro.
Yeah. I also noticed that, like, they'll just hike prices if they really don't want to do the job.
Yeah. And then the dude, they're like, fuck.
But if you pay them, they're like, okay, I have to do it now. But if I make it ridiculous, they're hoping you just back down. Like, that's another thing I don't like. And that's not just Japanese, but just people in general. Like, if you can, I don't know why people are afraid to say no. Just like, it's like, okay, cool, bro, that's fine. Whatever.
I say it all the time, dude. Like, I say at least once a week. Like, look, I'm not exaggerating. I get emails. This business is great because shit is always gonna break. Always gonna break. So you kind of get a little, not lazy, but like, you kind of assume that it's gonna go through. But then, like, I mean, honestly, there's months where it's dry and everything is working and nobody's doing nothing new. Yeah, and then happens, also, man. Clientele, some of my best customers, like, they just like leave. So one of my guys, the 32, he's been here for a while. He just got back and he's getting S15 now, and he wants a certain S15 with this, and this, and blah blah blah. I pitched yours to him right away, but he wanted.
What's his name?
It's down in Yokota.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's down in Yokota.
Okay, he's down in Yokota.
Yeah, so I was like, there's rust on it, but we can still work. He was like, I don't want to, because his 32 Okinawa car, bro, bodywork alone, fucking 15-20K, man, to get that thing back, like.
But I understand that.
But he didn't, and we said, and he was like, yeah, nah, pass, and I was like, cool, because he didn't. And I don't like with me, I want it or I don't. It's just like, yeah, no, I don't. If they got wheels, engine don't matter. I want to swap it. Couldn't move. Couldn't run. This, and this. All right, cool. I'll take it. I'm one of the easiest buyers, dude, and I sell that way too.
Yeah, but you know what you want.
Yeah.
So
and you know what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I like, yeah. It's
I remember you said one time somebody's like, you're not. You was telling me a story with the dude was like, so you're not gonna argue with me, dude? Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like
okay. Cool.
What car was that?
No. It was a buyer that was gonna. It was a buyer that I was hoping that was gonna buy the 15, but then unfortunately he just couldn't pull the funds together. But like, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm looking for this because I was expecting, how about for this much, right? So because that's always how it is these days, and I'm just like this, and he's like, okay, I was like, that's it.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck's this? Where the fuck is Ashton Kutcher with the punk and shit? Like,
I was like, well, shit, okay, damn. Yeah. I was about to throw in extra shit to the car too. I was like, yeah, take it, man. Fuck yeah.
One thing I like about my post, man, and it's cool because I got a lot of Australian buddies, and I told them, like, dude, you guys write thesis statements to sell cars. I'm like, nobody's gonna read all that shit. Like, this parts list, mileage, numbers, compression if you got them, and that's it. You don't need like,
a lot of people don't read through this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to go to university, so I want to keep the car, and it's like, dude, nobody gives a fuck about none of that, dude. Like this. You know what I mean?
They care about the car.
Yeah, the car, the history. If it's been crashed, any history stuff. Like, so when you list that stuff there, contact me here. And luckily my stuff doesn't get fucked with a lot. As far as like people doing dumb shit or whatever. I mean, the biggest thing now is people drop the laughing emojis. And I was in a bad mood the other day, and I seen it, and I made a comment on there, and I unfollowed it. So whatever the fuck they said after that, but I meant it. People, when I put that 34 up, that's 189K. There's the same GTR on Goonet right now for like roughly fucking 250.
Yeah, man. The GTRs
it's not the same, bro. You're not gonna get that.
People think it's like still like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like, nah, man.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah,
it's gonna get worse, man. So like those dudes, they kind of with a little. I'm a very aggressive person. I don't hide that, and I hate. Hate is a strong word. I really dislike passive people, which living in Japan is like 95% of the people and everything. So it's like, hey, if there's an issue, let's resolve it or talk about it. Don't like do sly shit. And that laughing emoji is like, it's just something small, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't even bother me, being what I'm busy on. But it's like, it's like some real, like, you don't even know or you just don't have the fucking money. And I kind of put it into that category. Like, you don't know what you're looking at, or you just don't have the money. And stuff like that, and guys kind of,
again, people behind the keyboard they're very brave.
Yeah, they're
until you're in their face. I know Matt's had a couple of issues like that too.
Yeah,
where it's like that, but when he faces them in person, they're like, "Oh no!"
Oh yeah, I told him, man.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, man, with Matt, man, I told him, like, we had a conversation, and I was like one of the catalysts to get him over here. I did I forewarned him about what he was about to get into, because I was like, dude, the guys have been here for a long time, make it seem like it's easy, but when you get here, boots on the ground, you realize it's harder.
It's hard, man.
Like not having Napa, not having AutoZone, not being able to get a fucking starter. Like today, I need a starter today.
Yeah, that's another one. Yep.
Yeah, like I got 2 cars downstairs that I gotta fucking send a core back, and the shit's like fucking $250. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking $35 starter, dude. I had to order an LS starter from off Amazon. It took fucking 3 weeks to get here. Just to get an LS1 starter so I can do a compression check.
Yeah, but
again.
That's why I love,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, I mean, but even still, RB, I can't go to Go Motors or Nissan and get an RB starter today.
That's why I understand why these people, keep this stuff,
bro. Keep
it on deck.
Selling.
I've saved a lot of people's asses because I just have stuff.
Yeah, you gave me the bumper to the rear bumper it was a rear bumper or front bumper?
A rear bumper for that chaser. Yeah,
because I just didn't want to and it's down. It's about to leave out to Minnesota or Texas to Minnesota, and he is 34 is outside too. So that people like that, man. This dude, I'm at a point now where like somebody just messaged for that 32, 34 yesterday. So the dude's don't fucking know me, but based off of my history and all the stuff there, it's like he's gonna drop 189K because that's the price is firm. It's not gonna budge, and hey, it's gonna come up from where it's at to here. It's gonna rest. Here's other. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. No worries. But it's gonna come up here, and I've had guys drop big money in my hand and haven't even met me, man. So it's cool to be to that point and to have guys trust you. And the thing is now, bro, you fuck somebody over for $35 now, you're all over the internet now. Like you're all this fucking dude. I paid him $35 for something, and you get a certain kind of guy, and he just like, he didn't pay me, he didn't send the part out, and then like it goes online, and then the whole like T-Pain essentially ruined that guy. Like,
but I mean,
that was on him.
Yeah, that was on him because he was just like saying how he felt, man. It's just like, hey, you know, this, and that, man.
Well,
like,
I was saying it's on a GMG, but that's why I just remember what I was saying. Sorry, man, I rambled too much. But that was all. There was people see it like T-Pain's, but it was two. There's two players there, man.
Yeah.
You didn't get invoices. Like, I don't give a fuck if you buy a fucking magazine, even if you don't want it. I'm giving you an invoice, dude. Like, I'm making an invoice. That's
what a
business
does, right? Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna pay me anything, and I'm not gonna track it. I had the Evo out there that belonged to a guy. We went to a company to get some aero. They fucking did some shit. Because I am who I am, I introduced them to the company. They pretty much didn't deliver the products. I fucking paid, like, I didn't have to, but to make my conscience good, I fucking paid the dude back like $3K. You know what I mean? But I had every dime, every cent, everything was calculated to the amount where it was. And also, he had some stuff there too where I was asking for parts and he didn't get it to me, and then I got more busy. So I'm like, this is going to be pushed to the back burner. Cool, you're not here, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, until we get to it, I'm going to refund you the amount down to the fucking cent, dude. Yeah. Down to the cent. And I was like, well, if you want to buy some other stuff, we can take from that balance, blah. But it was down to the cent. Yeah. It was nothing was missing. So if you can't do that as a business, you're really fucking up. And also, it was T-Pain fault for they probably shook hands and did this and you gotta. It's two parts, bro.
And I think I mean, he's only human as well. So you know, I'm sure he learned that too.
So yeah, he probably he fucking went to it was a job. He went to Home Depot and bought a bunch of tools. Like, he was like, yeah, fuck this, dude. I'm doing as much as I can by myself. Yeah, man. And then he's hooked up with JR and RTR and all those guys. So, you know, if he gets RTR to build him a car, it's gonna get done. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But they're gonna give him a freaking help. Here you go. Like, here's literally everything. Yeah. And and I've started doing that just for myself. Yeah. And it's definitely been improving because now I can like actually kind of keep track of what I'm doing. So it's something I didn't do.
It's easy as fuck to lose track, man.
Yeah,
like,
even just I think it's a good practice just even personally. Yeah. So
yeah, just write shit down. Again, the email thing is it keeps control, but it also do this. I can't remember. I do not remember. I had dudes hit me up like, hey man, and they say some few words like, yeah, I remember. I do. All right, yeah, I remember you, Chris, from like 2 years ago. I give a dude a quote 2 years ago, AWOL, and then they come back like today. They come back like yesterday, and like, hey, I'm ready to go, man. Like, ready to go for what? Like, what the fuck? Like, I've done 1,000 jobs since last time we talked. Yeah, you can get in line, and also all those prices 25% higher. Yeah, it's like it don't. That quote is I put on the thing. Quotes is not valid in 30 days. Yeah. Now I put 15 because of the.
Yeah, especially right now. I know the Yen's been doing.
Oh, bro, I thought it was 115. Then I looked up, the shit was like 130.
And I was like, man, dude, what is going on? Because I was like, right now it's just doing this.
I no shit, you know, nobody's perfect. I quoted a guy something at 129, and I just fucking I was waiting for him to send me some other money to get some other stuff because I wanted to go there at once and order, and then in the process it dropped 10 points, man. So I'm like, fuck, man. So now. You know, because I quoted him for that, and then I quoted him, you know, and that's a business responsibility. That's not the customer's fault that you didn't go order the shit at 129. Yeah, that's your fault. And I instead of like being like I'm not a blame. I take responsibility for my shit. I was supposed to order that at 129. When it's time to buy it, now it's 115. And the cool thing about it is order some more shit. So now I'm gonna go order it. So I still ain't order it yet. Yeah. But so now I'm back at where I quoted at. You know, quoted them. And also what I do is if I quote somebody and it goes up, I just return. I'm like, hey man, the shit went up because they're not stupid, dude. Yeah, yeah. And they see that, oh yeah, the shit went up. And some customers even say, hey man, it went up. I don't like the ones that kind of go to Etsy.com. I'm like, that's not local. The local rate is not. So
yeah, it's just kind of like a ballpark. Yeah, but so that's what I use it for.
But as far as in Massawa, that's why I do exchange at. So that's why I use daily because that's where I'm going to go exchange them yen. Yeah. So I give them the local rate because that's the international one. True. Yeah. So that's about 2. And then if you use Bank of America one, they're 2 points higher, lower than whatever it is. So
yeah, that's what I said. It's just I just have it like as a baseline, and then it's like, okay, it's about this much.
When I quote though, it's shipping, and when they about to send me 5-6K or that 189K, I gotta go check that out tomorrow and like
make sure. It's like, okay, right now at this point in time, it's this much.
Yeah, the highest I've ever done at one for a car was 32. Yeah, 32. And I had to go in there and do you got to make an appointment to withdraw.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to make an appointment at fucking Wichita to exchange. You can only do like 10K or something like that a day. So they go there twice.
Okay.
So shit like that, but at 189K, oof. Yeah, it's a regular account, so they could be like fucking close, freeze, and so I got to go to them and make sure how he's gonna send the money and everything, stuff like that to make him comfortable, and also make sure it goes through. I don't want to do five. You know, that's a bunch. That's 10. That's what 10. That's just a lot of times.
It's just a lot shit. And then a lot of
then I'll get a fucking red flag for that.
Yeah. So
it's So
once you're in that range, man, it
pretty much what he's gonna do.
Difficult.
He's gonna send me a check. That's the best way to do it. That way it's one thing, and then they can. It's odd how the transfer will tip, but the check going in, as long as it's in his account, it's gonna clear in like 4 days. So that's he's probably gonna send a cashier's check and everything. That's the safest way.
Okay.
And he can also fucking void that check. Hopefully he doesn't, because I'll tell the dealer, hey, I gotta this and this. So in a nutshell, that's honestly what you said about the clientele. That's actually something that that unfortunately, man, like the dudes who didn't utilize me before, man, it's a different. I've pretty much over the last 7 years laid the foundation of like all the shit I can do, and they don't utilize. But I'm only being utilized maybe 40% of my capacity, what I can actually do, because like you said, they're not doing cages, they're not doing,
it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So
and I toned it way down. First when I opened, I'm like, we can fucking do rotisseries and all that shit, and it was like, dude, I just want a timing belt. And then so that shit in the first 6 months, all that race shit went out the window, because the guys who raced, the drifters, they doing their own shit, and I couldn't get mad at that. And I never got mad at that, because I am a drifter, and I understood. I got to where I am by doing my own shit. There was no way I was gonna take my shit somewhere else to get it worked on. It's just not happening. So I can't get angry. Some shops do. So,
but I mean, also like back then we were not in the best financial position. Like I mean, I'm glad I'm in a better spot now where I could probably do that if I wanted to.
That's true. This one, it wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an option.
So I that's what I'm saying. Like you said, you can't be mad at them, because I get it, dude.
Yeah, and I never was, because I never was. The only thing that I went in a couple guys, young guys who already know who they are, and they're not here no more. But they figured because we were drifters, I was gonna give them like, bro, I used to kind of bring it up like, now it's no, and I don't bring up my family anymore, because it's not like I'm not trying to use them to get shit done, and I don't like guys who like, yeah, man, I know you got to feel like that's not. Well, I'm like, yeah, I got a family, and we're not talking about that no more. Like my family is my family. Yeah, that ain't none. Don't use that to kind of get me to entice me to like I need to take this job to. That's none of your fucking business. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like that. When I do get really instantly ticked off when guys try to bring that shit up or
sob story. Man.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, man.
Yeah, we all got problems, dude.
Yeah,
and my problems. We're just doing this RB26 single turbo swap. And I tell guys I'm not a financial advisor, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you don't got it, like, let's wait till you get it, because I'm not going to start this and wait. Kind of, I don't want to bring that, because we talked about that. Me and the guy talked about that, so it's not like, it'll make it seem like, I know he has the cash, he just want to do some other stuff. But, yeah, man, it goes, when it comes to the territory, but at the same time, with everything, man, if I make a mistake, which they've been very rare because I'm very calculated, but at the times I have, like, misordered something, or the customer asked me, hey, man, does this dump pipe going to fit this turbo? And I was like, yeah, it's going to fit. Then it doesn't. I paid for them. I paid $250 times 2 for some dump pipes, because I told him on my mouth that it was going to, and I could have charged her for it. Yeah. And then what's going to happen, he's going to go around like, he fucking, the whole job is great, but those down pipes, he just remembered him having to pay $450 extra. Yeah. Because I said they would fit.
Well, I mean, again,
it happens.
Human. Yeah. We're human, man.
But the issue is those guys that try to act like they don't fucking make no, and that's why I post. Yeah. Like, I don't really put dumb shit online, because you know how when you post, once you put it out there, it's out there, and some things don't need is between me and the customer. I dropped the fucking wrench on your hood. There's no reason for me to post that shit. Yeah. I just replaced it. I just replaced it. You know what I mean? So some things, then it would all send a message like, oh, dude, he's fucking up hoods and fucking up cars. And the Laurel, the reason I brought that up is I still got the fucking mirror from the Laurel came to my shop, the white one. The white one with the carbon hood.
Oh, mine? My old one? Okay,
yeah, so they came to the shop, and the dude, guy named was Treese. Mm-hmm. He had it was fucking freezing cold, dude, and I just went to fold him in. It fucking broke in my hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got
because I got it right, and it had that broken mirror on it. And
no, I got the mirror.
No way,
dude! I got the mirror painted. I got it color matched and everything.
Wow.
Then he just went AWOL. He sold the car to Zook, and then Zook had it. It just set it like where Quan was living at, and I had I got the fucking mirror like still.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean,
you
could probably sell it now. That car's exchanged so many hands,
I got it. I bought the mirror. I took it to Ozawa. Got it paint matched. That shit turned into. I mean, it just broke in my hand. I didn't.
These cars are. That's another thing. These cars are like in another tier of old. Because I remember like, cracked or S13 dashes. You already know about that, right? Back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago. Okay, $100 for a perfect dash. Now it's just like that. But like the thing is, I wouldn't even buy one because the moment I try to put the thing in there, poop, it's gonna split, man. It's that old now.
That and the fucking ARC-7 the FD guys. When I come there, the first thing I do is I pluck their door handles and everything, especially if it's wintertime. I'm like, hey man, open it for me so I can hear the creaks and shit. And just the F like their like a lot of the shit when you go to pull it off, it's gonna break, man. Like the FD top dash cowl, it's gonna break, dude. As soon as you go to take it off, cracked. It's gonna
actually
crack.
On my Soar, I just put a radio in it recently, and then, so there's the AC stack, and then you have to take that off to get the bezel off for the radio, and I'd taken it off and I was getting ready to put it back on, and I just pick it up from the top, right, and it just boop, just splits. Like I didn't drop it or anything. It just literally just split in my hand. I was like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah, so man, these old cars, man.
Yeah, like that's how it is, man. The plastic gets so brittle.
Cool thing, Leon, they got like the cool C companies, like they're coming out with the aftermarket dashes, like you mentioned before, the right hand drive, left hand drive, the covers came a long way where they don't look. They look. I mean, you can have the carbon cover. You just want to just fucking be done with it. Put a carbon cover there, FRP cover, and they got the flocked. I'm seeing some flocked ones. Like the 32, I have a carbon one sitting over there flat because I was like, dude, I don't want to put this on there until the car is departing because I don't want it to sit in the sun. I don't want to do shit. I wanted to put it on there, put a blocker there, and that way it's not just even with the blocker there, the heat still hits the material and it can start warping. I know. I think I seen you guys laugh in the movie because the JZX100 had that fucking. Oh yeah.
The dash lift. Yeah, they're
no CG right there,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
Like that, the fact that they kept that shit in there, like that's fucking real, bro. I was watching the movie by myself with my wife, and I was like, I just laughed. I was just smiling. She's like, what's funny? I was like, the dash is bubbled because the shit's pumped up. She didn't understand.
Yeah. I've been through a lot of 100s, so like I know that very well.
Yeah, so I was like, as soon as I was like, look, I was like, are they gonna catch it? And sure enough, everybody like the first thing start I noticed, giggling and shit.
It sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the thing.
But the thing is, only me, those guys in that little thing, nobody else there knew. They'd be like, oh, that's what it. They didn't even realize that orange is the stuffing and it's just fucking warped up and shit and everything.
Again, it's if you know, you know.
Yeah. So then as soon as like when I watched the movie, when he pushed the clutch and I was like, Ogura, I was like, he's gonna stall it. Sure enough, he stalls it. So I was like, I knew it was gonna happen before it happened, and they said that like they actually that was the real take. Like he stalled it, and he was like an Ogura twin. You know, I mean, you could tell it's metallic. You know, shit like that. So it's just cool, man. Like when you watch movies.
You can just pick up on that stuff, and it's just like, oh yeah, hey, I know it's genuine.
Yeah. So honestly, back when I watched Fast and the Furious 1, when I didn't know fucking a fraction of what I know now, and so when I watch it, like now it's like, and you just like then you just pick it apart, like, oh, no calibers, Jesse, then this and this, and then like that was a fucking Eclipse RS. It was a front wheel drive. It wasn't GSX. You know, it had the hump in the hood, but that wasn't. There was Hollywood, they use the shitty cars with cars. They're not gonna fucking crash a real car. But the you pick it apart and it's like
it's a movie though, like there's some things. Oh, I think was it the Wangan Midnight movie?
Yeah.
Where I think it was when the Z crashed, but then it pans to the car. It's a completely different car.
Oh yeah.
Just like
it was like some shit Z.
It's like come on, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, they fucked that one up. That was like you watch old 70 movies. That was a common thing. They would see like the stunt double car.
Okay.
There'd be like some hubcaps and shit, and then they don't want to flip the fucking like a General Lee. They went through a bunch of fucking you know, and the Dukes of Hazzards and stuff like that, and all that stuff. So those guys get paid, man. But yeah, I seen that too. But One at Midnight, actually, it was there's actually two, and people don't know about. One came out, and so there's actually I did the Shoto Kotoko, which is, if you haven't seen it before, that's where everything came from. It was a show between 88 and 60 and 96. And Tsuchiya was all in it and everything. And we're doing a video series in it right now. So I'll bring it up real quick.
Okay, sure. That sounds interesting.
Bro, you got it. Like it's packed full of you see right there. It's packed full of like all the shit, you know, that all the JDM stuff. So it goes trial 1, trial 2. I've seen them. I got all the DVDs and everything. So like I'll just let one play right there in the background. So the fast, dude, it's like it's like a time period that was real, and there's very little CG, and dudes drive a brand new fucking S13, you know, 88 SC18 S13, and
like you got to remember sometimes this is like when they first came out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this was like a fucking Nissan, fucking dude. It was like Nissan all over, dude. So like the GTR was brand new 89, brand new fucking 89 GTR. Tsuchiya's beating the shit out of it, and like this thing right here sparked. So they're on a one gun. So this was actually Sendai. So they're on, So they're I think it's Sugo. So it's one of the ones up here because you see it's got snow and shit right there in the background. They use Sendai Highlanders a bunch too in this movie, but it's a series, and then when it got towards the 90s, they were like, all right, we'll keep it on, but you guys got to put in the message. Like they started putting like, well, take it to the track. So that was a theme. That was after the second one. It was a theme like, all right, street shit, whatever, take it to the track. And so they put that message there. But no, dude, this is all real. This no fucking CG, man. This is all real fucking shit. Cinematography was there, and then it's a cool. If you haven't seen it, dude, they got subtitles and shit all there. Very cool. But all the parts when they were first coming out, the old Apexy shit. All that tech, which was brand new, is like fucking all in there. The Grady Rubik system that had the two extra. It was before the big injectors. You had to add 2 injectors.
Double injectors.
Yeah, so it was like in the intake, it was 2 injectors that was siphon off fuel, and then they open up to inject more fuel. So there was no 1000cc injectors and shit back then. So my DR30 came with that shit in it. And I just disconnected it and the car ran like shit. Then I did a real bunch of shit. But anyway, Shoto Kozako is a cool show from back in the started in the 88, 90s, and it was real. They had no fucking permits. There was these ain't no fucking actors, man. They were just fucking straight out there fucking balling, dude.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, real shit.
This is like the kind of stuff I see, and I was like, man, I wish I was like
born
10 or 20 years earlier, man.
I'll send you the link.
Or even 30, man. Just so I can experience this.
Yeah, we talked about it, bro. We talked about it in the thing. I asked my guy. He was like, "Are you cool being alive now?" Or he was like, "Yeah." He was kind of a little bit older, so he remembers some of the stuff. But seeing the JZ8, the JZ8, the JZ870 Super when it first came out, and it was like the shit, and like so these cars are all debuting in this show. The FC is in there.
I want an FC so bad.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
So, dude, I highly recommend, man. If you got time, dude, this is a lot of guys haven't seen this.
Yeah, so I'll probably watch it when I get home.
Yeah, bro. It's that nostalgia and real sounds and yeah, man. So yeah, man. So it's cool shit. But then 89 fucking GTR fog lights, fucking CA18 Sylvia.
Oh, CA.
Yeah,
okay,
CA.
Yeah, that's how you
yeah.
know told.
Yeah. This was 88, 89. So then he had like one company, Fast, back in like they were like one of the premier aftermarket companies, and all those guys we got our millions, we're cool. And then by the time we're getting in the game, that's when Gretty and HKS they were like in their prime, and so HKS, you don't see HKS and Gretty and Truss or Kakimoto. You don't really see them too much. You see all the old school joints, man, that are done now.
Okay, so that's probably like the ones I don't really know about.
Yeah, dude, that's why it's because this shit's cool, man, because again, this is all fucking, they were just in it, bro, and no permits, no fucking permits, dude, no permits, man. Yeah, so that shit got shut 96. They was like, Axe, yeah. No, those dudes in the tunnel, they were going around people and shit and everything.
Back in those days, that's what they did, man.
And the dude dies right here and shit. So spoiler, man, you gotta I'll let you watch it, man. I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah. In a nutshell, death happens a lot. It's like they want to push that message of you could die and blah 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 and all that stuff. And
I remember that about Team Midnight and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like I know a little bit about that history.
Yeah,
so.
And that's funny. My racing team was a Midnight Rider Racing. This is before we knew about. We just named it that, and
before you knew about
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah. This was back when car clubs were the thing. We got a whole DVD out and everything, and I edited it. We sold like 500 copies of it, and we were like kind of local, celebs and shit like that. And I'm actually it's actually on my thing, but it's broken up in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Because YouTube didn't allow you to put at that time. You couldn't put anything over 10 minutes. Dude.
Wow.
Dude, yeah.
Times have changed,
now we're
man.
in 4K and
you can basically put like a movie on there.
Yeah. So my DVD is fucked up. So one of my guys has his in pristine condition. So he's going to technology. He's going to rip it and then send it over by Dropbox. And I'm going to try to. It's like 480p, dude. So I'm gonna try to. I'm bring it up, man. So I'll talk a little bit, and then we'll close out on there, man. But
okay,
a lot of guys I showed you can actually see. Let me see, Team MNR. You can actually see me, like, dude. There was one part where I crashed my S13. And this was like 2 years before I joined the military. And I kind of spoke. I was like, dude, eventually I'm gonna be in Japan doing all this other shit. And
I think I remember that clip, dude. Actually, or you talking about it.
Yeah,
and then here we are.
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So this is my guy Nick. Still, we met one night, man, and still bros like 20 plus years later, bro. Like it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man.
16 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
sometimes I see the numbers because like I remember like a lot of certain there's YouTube's got those videos that always everybody's always gonna remember, and then you look back and you just start seeing it. Over 10 years is something, but like when it's like over like 15, you're like, wow, YouTube's been around for that long. Like,
so I just now I'm thinking now my buddy CJ. Yeah. That's the dude that fucked that dude CJ. And my buddy that was the 32 back in fucking. This was like 10 years before they were legal. So I drove a GTST. Dustin for that. I drove a GTST in America before I came. Like it was still like 17 years old and everything. Man.
Yeah, I remember when I went to a Hot Import Nights one night. Or one day, like back when I was in Miami, and I saw R34 there, and I'm just like, whoa, like
probably came from New Jersey, Florida. Florida was fucking wild, bro. Like Florida,
I still love Florida, man. Can't wait to go back.
And speaking of which, when I was RTR, that was JR's first like event at FedEx. So it was like for me, it was cool with this stuff because I'm old enough to be like 15 years ago I was doing this shit or whatever, but then I'm young enough where my very first drift I got on video. I got on video on my thing and shit, and it's like now it's like we have a thing now that the guys that were like Mike Poole, for example, I use him as because he's a little older. They don't have video and shit. Maybe a buddy died, they don't got the sound of his voice. Now they can, and when I do this shit right here again, honestly, with this podcast stuff. I told my buddy, I'm like, at first I was like all about views and blah blah blah, whatever the fuck. I do this for me, like now, man, son, that was my. I used to go out and drift the S13 in the school in the rain. Rain was the shit, man. But back then, I did that was one of the first fucking Jay-Z GTE swaps in the town, and that fucking dude took all my credit. I did all the wiring. It was left hand and right. I had to convert the whole harness all the way fucking over this way. Wire for wire, dude.
Yeah, I remember you had to do that with SR20 swaps too.
Wire for wire, and he like took my shit and like went around town, and like that dude actually prior Navy, and he went to jail for credit card fraud. Yeah, so he got kicked out of the Navy too. I was like, oh, you're just a shitbag.
Yep, shitbag.
Yeah, so but yeah, man, that was it. Even looking at the trailer here, man, like that was my S13 and. I edited everything, man. That was where I got like really cut my teeth. We had 4 years.
2006, man. Yeah, dude, that's like around the time I bought my first 240.
All the footage was filmed between 2003 and like 2004 and everything, man. Wow. So yeah, dude, it was like
I said, I was really young back then.
It was the fucking tapes, the high 8 tapes, and then like there was no SD card, so we had to fucking rewind and fast forward. So then we had to watch 3 years worth of footage and just record everything. And then go back and chop and everything, and and do all that stuff. And like I would be all like, I wish we had the technology right now, but it's kind of cool, man. I mean the old ass editing but I did all the stuff before Basic. I did everything. I was taking a big ass tower. There was no laptops like that. Mm-hmm. So I go to my buddy's house and we would sit there for 3 hours a night, edit. And I was like, dude, I'm going to Basic. I'm not sure how long I'll be gone. So for every day for 2 weeks straight, we just edit. And we got down to a point where the DVDs were only 4 gigs back then. 4.7 was the max. Mm-hmm. So we had to compress the fuck out of it. And that's why the quality got like, I mean, even still looking at me, it's 40p, but it was better quality. And now the hard drives are fucking long gone and all that shit's gone. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get for my buddy Chris. We're going to get his DVD and I'm going to try to like stretch it to at least 720 and do some anti-aliasing. So that was like my first Civic swap. And you had models and
that's when the Z was new, man.
yeah, dude. The Z was the fastest fucking shit. Like, and it was automatic. That was the sports shift shit, bro. Everybody wanted to fucking like, dude. That was like, dude, getting in that Z. That's the owner right there is his mom's car. So he had an RXX. Their mom had an RSX. Then he fucked the transmission up.
Yeah.
So he was the first guy in the hood with a Type S, and Type S was like, oh fuck, bro.
I remember that. Yeah,
he got the RSX, and then he fucked the transmission up with that, and they got the Z, and then he had the Z and the RSX, and he got that daily. Then the Z, bro, that shit was just like fast as shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. I forgot. Like, they're actually really good cars, man. Dude. That's why, like, I remember when I picked this one up and I'm driving, I'm like, man, this thing is actually like, it's not really slow.
Yeah,
like,
the VQ, like, sound is that, but the VQ spawned like the FJ20, like the DR30. Yeah, FJ20 spawned SR20, RB, KA, all those engines. The VQ spawned a lot is when it's in the VR. Yeah, if you look at them, they kind of look.
They look similar. The genes are there for sure.
So Nissan, those guys are not gonna do it. So back in the day, Subarus were like, you had a fucking Subaru, you had an Evo, like you were just like the dude, and they were like fucking $35K.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, this is around the time they were
RB20, when RB20s were like the shit. When we had RB20 swap, you were like the dude.
Yeah, because like nobody knew how to do it back in the day.
So and then
I remember a good buddy of mine. His name is Charles White, and he used to have an S13 with an RB25, and like the way he did it back then was getting the actual cross member, like before that, all that stuff. And the thing is, nobody even knew what a Skyline was back then. Yeah. And I'm just like, damn, that's how those guys are really OG.
Yeah, that's what I do. Dude, I got in my van, I got about 4 S14 subframes. I just, when I'm on Yahoo, when you're like on the toilet, I just buy them, dude. They're like $15. I just buy the shit out of them. So I have all my swaps are just, I do so, and the people don't realize they're 4 bolts, they all translate over to all the chassis.
Yeah, that's what I like, that cookie cutter stuff, man. Yeah. It's convenient for like, if I want to put an NSR in the Laurel, which is probably what I'm gonna do for my brother's car. Yeah. Okay, cool. I just need to get a freaking SR cross member.
I got 3 of them, man. So when you're ready for them, let me know, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but that's what I'm saying. So like when I'm ready to do it, okay, cool. All it is a cross member swap. Boom. I put an SR in there.
Speaking of that, now it makes me depressed because when I moved shops, me and Quan moved everything here, and I put up there. I was trying to make some money. You weren't here. You was.
I was here, but
at my old shop.
Yeah. Because that's when I met you, was in your old shop. So.
Yeah, because I was just trying to make some moving money, and I was like, hey man, as much as you can fucking carry for like $40, and nobody like, I don't really remember nobody responded. And then the one guy was like, then I said the dumb shit which you don't say, or I'm gonna part. Like, that's the dumbest shit to sell anything. Like, if you're gonna part it out or junk it, why the fuck are you even trying to sell it for $35K or whatever the fuck? Yeah. So like that, I said that was like, or I'm gonna junk it, and then the one guy's, well, fine, I'll just wait till you throw it away. And I was like, you know what, fuck you. So I threw away at least 4,000 because they weighed it. It was 4,000 pounds worth of spare parts. Oof. But it was like it was knuckles and shit. I just was ready to go, man, because I had all this shit, and I kept all the good stuff, like I got a bunch of drive shafts, so I can make drive shafts for swaps, subframes. But like, I was like, all right, after 4 set of knuckles, I'm cool. And I'm like, now I'm fucking like, shit, they're going up just to get knuckles. Is like now, but it was either that or move 4,000 pounds of shit. So I just put it in a pile, and I was like, dude, the metal guy came and picked it up, and he was fucking having a fucking field day, dude. Just all types of shit, piping and but I don't like junk. I don't like.
Like after a while, it's just like, okay, man, this is way too much.
It's too much. You gotta.
Yeah. Unless you have like a dedicated space for it, man. That's what I'm like. Because, like, right now I have, like, a dedicated parts room in my house. Yeah. And it is getting full. And I'm just like, okay, man, I need to either start installing a lot of these parts. Yeah. Or just, just kick a lot of this stuff out. Because, like, yeah, it's cool to have it, man, but I don't need it. Yeah. But, yeah, I get that, man. And it's just, like, it's sad. So, yeah, it is what it is, though.
But cool, man. Hey, man, this is, like, the part of the podcast I like, man, because we just start, going back and forth and talking and stuff like that, man. And we'll be here for like another 2 hours. But again, man, thanks for your time. Mm-hmm. I gotta get home, and Sunday is doing when I chill with the family. But it is, my wife. I'm also teaching her because she got to learn how to. I got 5 kids, and like, dude, the twins are doing their fucking thing in their patio or cage or whatever the fuck, and everybody's on the. I don't like to do it to the kids, but they get on their iPhones, dude. They just fucking like, it's kind of sedating and everything. But I don't. I pulled them away from her, but yeah, I was like, dude, she just feels like she can't. I'm like, nah. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go do the podcast and do some other stuff at the shop, do some cleaning up stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, everything is cool, man, and definitely, man. Like I said, I just didn't. I just want to get you on, man, and kind of show appreciation because again, there's a lot of guys here in Masawa, and they're probably gonna watch this, and they're probably gonna feel like I'm talking about them or towards them. It's just I'm very like guarded on who I allow around me, like for and I don't want to talk about PTSD, but it's real. I get 40% by VA for that shit. I've been shot at, hit by IEDs, like mortars, been close to death a lot, to the point where it changes you, to the point where I don't want to deal with stupid, petty bullshit, dude. And that stuff really like sends me off the fucking end quickly.
Okay, I can understand that. Yeah,
quickly, dude.
I've never been in that kind of situation.
Yeah, I want to be around cool guys and. And so I didn't know, like, I didn't know, like, does he like me or this? Because, I mean, it's not just fucking high school, but it's like, I've been short with people a lot based on others around, especially when the others are pretty much told. There's a couple guys in town where I've pretty much told them, don't talk to me when you see me. I'm very blunt about that. There's nothing there. I give you a chance. I give you warnings, and you go and do it otherwise. Like, that means you don't have respect. And where I come from, and I'm not proponent of violence and stuff like that, but where I come from, a lot of stuff that some guys do here, fortunately, man, you would get killed for. Like, and that's just real talk.
Yeah, I understand.
It's real talk, and you don't. So like, I'm not gonna kill anybody because it's not worth it. I don't even want to physically harm nobody because that's not worth it either. But it's like the best thing for this situation is just be you continue on your way, and I continue doing what I'm doing because it's just not. You were definitely in the wrong, and that's just not how. A lot of guys don't realize they're men, and they just kind of